Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are looking at Iowa Speedway as you are joining us for race 10 of our 13-race regular season of Wednesday Night Xfinity, live on YouTube, courtesy of MRL Broadcasting and Top Split Productions. As always, the voice of MRL, Mean Gene Money here, my tag team partner Kevin Kyle. He will be giving us all of the inside action. KK running as our producer as well tonight. How we doing, KK? How's your night going, buddy?
Hey, Mean Gene, glad to be back here in the booth with you, in the Farmers Only booth. That, of course, is the booth that we're in, Mean Gene, but I'm doing great tonight. Able to get the computer back together so we can have this awesome race tonight here on this beautiful Wednesday evening.
We are looking at some serious action tonight, KK. Race 10 of our 13-race regular season. Only 14 drivers are going to make their way into the chase. Right now, these drivers putting in those qualifying laps. You can see some of the cars out there as they're getting ready for this big event. 14 men are going to go in, and only 5 have wins this season. So that's going to leave 9 spots of availability. Right now, Nate Maurer is your points leader. He's got 4 wins. He's on top. He'd love to take that regular season championship home. David Owens, last week with that 26th place finish, dropped and let Nate Maurer take over the lead. So Nate now with that 27-point lead. But hey, KK, what we saw last week is if somebody has a bad run in a big field, they can lose a lot of points. That's exactly what happened. And tonight, it looks like we got 33 drivers on the track, KK. 33 guys.
Mean Gene, I mean, exactly right. You know, in the smaller leagues where there's less numbers, hey, you have a bad night, not the end of the world. But now with these larger fields of over 30 drivers, Mean Gene, any mistake, especially we saw at Kansas, you might even have a fast repair. Still wasn't enough for some of these drivers that we had in the carnage at Kansas.
Kansas was out of control. I'll tell you one thing that wasn't out of control, and that was David Cook. David Cook picked up his 2nd win of this season at Kansas. Then the guy turns around, KK, and wins the Monday Night Mayhem race on top of it. So David Cook, he's sitting 3rd in points. He's 53 points behind Nate Maurer. But right now, Cook is on fire. That guy is just collecting wins the way my nephew collects Pokemon cards.
Yeah, Mean Gene, Cook is on fire and he's cooking with gas right now. And just throwing up at the qualifying session, looks like Bollinger really put down an awesome lap with Nate Maurer and David Cook 2/100ths of a second behind him. So awesome field. These top 3 are very close in top speed. So it's going to be interesting to see this first green flag start for this opening race here at Iowa.
Yeah, we can't be surprised, KK. You were looking at practice. We were talking about it earlier, and Colin Bollinger was the fastest car out there in practice. And he put in some extended laps, so I'm not as surprised to see him up on top there. Nate Maurer, points leader. That guy's going to be hard to get by. David Cook, he's on fire. Alex McCorder and Bobby Dodson, really nice to see those names up there, rounding out your top 5. So we are looking at a lot of the usual suspects up in the front of this field. Going to be interesting to see exactly how it unfolds. Only 24 drivers choosing to qualify tonight out of this field. So it'll be really fascinating to see what those guys in the back can do. Are they just waiting for the big one? I didn't know there was a big one going to happen at Iowa. Is that a thing?
Mean Gene, yeah, Iowa actually, you know, a lot of the Cup drivers earlier in real life were mentioning it kind of ran like a little speedway with the speeds they were hitting. So yeah, it definitely can happen here, Mean Gene, especially this size field. A small accident towards the mid-pack, we could have another big one on our hands, especially with how far most of these guys can see out the front window.
You know, speaking of accidents, I don't want to bring it up. I don't want to jinx anybody, but MRL officials did add a new rule for this week that we will have moving forward. If a driver is the cause of 3 cautions, he's going to get that black flag, and he's going to have to do a drive-through penalty. And hey, Kevin, if he does a 4th one, if he's part of causes that 4th wreck, they're going to right-click and hit that DQ from race button.
I think that's actually too many. If you've caused 3 cautions and then you get thrown out of the race, I think that's two, maybe one too many or two too many. I think it maybe should be a little sooner than that, because three's quite a few there, Mean Gene.
Well, you know what they say, two's company, three's a crowd, and four, well, I think you need a P. Diddy tape. That's a P. Diddy tape. So you got to be careful out there in these accidents. I imagine that this thing is going to get modified as we move forward, guys. You know, MRL officials, they don't want to make things too strict. It's easier to tighten it up after the fact than it is to loosen it up. So I think what they're trying to figure out is who is the cause of an accident. That could be really difficult to figure out in the heat of a moment. Is it net code? Is it a racing incident? Or is it just somebody not letting off the gas and just straight up driving a hole to China right through your rear bumper? So this will be something interesting for us to monitor moving forward, especially with the playoffs, just 4 races away. Really like to get this rule hammered out. Right now, though, we can see down there that pace car is starting to roll, and we are watching Colin Bullinger leading them out there. Going to be some exciting races. This is a night race, so that track is going to stay pretty cool, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, definitely, Mean Gene. The temperature should stay down low. Obviously, it's getting into night. That sun goes down, really keeps the temperature off the track. So watch for that lower line to maybe prevail, be a little bit stronger than usual, and see if anybody can make a high line work and get some momentum. But it'll be really curious here if we get some long green flag runs and see how the race turns out. And very excited. And Mean Gene, just to go over our stages. First stage tonight's gonna be lap 50. Then our second stage is going to conclude at lap 100, and then the conclusion of the race is going to be at lap 165 for tonight. Drivers were also commenting, Mean Gene, I think we were hearing about 48 to 50 laps here at Iowa, so something to just keep in mind here if we get some green flag runs.
Well, if I'm wide open out there, 48 is not 50. So that will be fascinating to see who exactly has the testicular fortitude to try to push their car those extra 2 laps, especially if they're out there cutting air for everybody else, just burning up that fuel. And the other thing, in addition, sure, 50 laps, maybe I can make my car run that, but what about the tires? You know, I've heard some drivers say they could make it an entire fuel run on those tires, but I've heard other drivers start talking about lap 20, saying this car is getting a little bit tight. Is tight something you can deal with here at Iowa?
I mean, if you are dealing with the tight, then the whole field's tight because it's a fixed setup race. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's just more about getting that ready. As Bollinger leads him to the Geico restart line, we're getting ready for that green flag here, Mean Gene, as he crosses that start-finish line. And here comes the field barreling down into turn 1.
Bollinger with a clean start right there. He is in the center, but you can see David Cook poking his nose underneath. David Cook, that guy's been on fire. He's won 2 races in a row in the big cars. Not surprised to see him out in second place right now. Nate Maurer also making a run. You can see him in that 971. He's not a rookie. He chooses that number, and he wears it well like a badge of honor. Behind him, Bobby Dodson. Bobby, huge jump in the points last week. And Alex McCorder, great to see that guy running up front again.
The 56 and the 15 get involved, Mean Gene.
Yellow already on the track. Not what we were wanting to see, but it is what we get. Look at that caution right there. Oh, that's not the way you drive. I don't think that's the way you point that car there, KK.
No, sir. Exactly. I think we might have had a few incidents here. This one looks like it started further in the back. This is between the 78 and the 7, but I did see Matt Novella and the 15 get involved first off. So let's take a look, see if we can find out what exactly happened at full speed here, Mean Gene.
All right, I see Brenner up in that 22. We see Novella there in that rainbow. And Novella just checks out McWhorter's car. Owens gets tapped. Jonathan K. Sabir part of that foolishness. A lot of big names right there. A lot of big names. Yeah, the car don't name that way. I mean, what is this in the back right here? Just some more people having a good time?
Yeah, Mean Gene, I think this is a little bit further in the accident. So the 78 just gets loose there, probably seeing that accident happen, and maybe he gets on the brakes there hard, trying to stay away from what's happening. And then and then the 07. Who's the 07 there? Is that Lester? I'm not sure.
That was
Yeah,
not
that's
the way
Fred
he
Lester.
wanted that to go down. Fred
Yeah,
Lester.
Fred Lester in 07 gets into 78 of Perkins. So unfortunate for them there. Let's see. We'll go back to live racing as cars come down here to pit lane. Mean Gene gonna get some repairs, top off for fuel, like you said, with that green flag splash. If it does go green flag, but we're already off to a rocky start here, Mean Gene.
Well, 4 laps in, we're getting a little top off on fuel, so that ought to be, I said earlier, 48 is not 50 laps for fuel, so this ought to put them into that nice window if we stay green. That's a pretty big if. It's Eiffel Tower size if, but we're really hoping that these 33 drivers can to keep this thing on the straight and narrow. I see Lister rolling again in that 07. Perhaps it was just a light tap and not a full hammer on. That front end looks a little funny on his Ford, but he's still rolling out there. David Cook is still your leader. He took over that lead pretty darn quick. So we're going to see exactly what he can do out there. Inside of him, you can see Nate Maurer. Looks like Cook's going to take that outside lane. You surprised by that, KK?
No, not at all. Cook seems to like that outside lane, and you might have a little more control over that inside car if you really come down and put your door on them. You're gonna cut down that exit of the inside car, which should allow you in theory to have a little bit more better momentum to clear. But maybe he's just planning on a great restart and able to clear Nate and have a better turn in, wide turn in, arcing nice turn in instead of coming from the inside out.
And we did see restarts were the story of the race on our Monday night series. So David Cook became the master of the restart. He took that baton right out of the hands of Joe Volpis late in the Monday night race. And now David Cook, once again, finding himself controlling the race, and we'll see exactly what kind of jump he gets. Somebody I want to give a little shout out to right now, KK, that's got to be Bobby Dodson. He's running up there in the front right now. In third place, but Bobby made a big jump to get up into that 14th and final chase position last week. So Bobby really needing a good run. He's currently tied with Stephen Neal. That race down there for that 14th spot is so tight. So the drivers that we're looking at to have accidents or run really well down there have got to be David Brenner, Matt Novella, Bobby Dodson, Stephen Neal, Robert Richards. Any of those names, if you see them running in the front or having an incident, that could really start to put a pinch or a bow tie on their season. So Bobby Dodson right now, as far as those drivers on the cusp, running right there in third, you got to be happy for him.
Yeah, Mean Gene, definitely excited for those drivers fighting for every last
and look
spot
who's
here.
behind him. David Brenner and Robert Richards. Those guys right there, 3, 4, 5. And they're going to be squeezing the pill.
Yes, sir. And then Mean Gene, just to clarify, it looks like the pace car lights are off, and David Cook did decide to take that inside line. So let's see. Let's see how this pans out, and let's see if Nate Maurer can make that outside line move and get a great jump on the outside of the 71 of David Cook.
Now this is only going to be your first restart, so it'll be curious to see if Maurer can dial in and figure out the way Cook does it. Cook had pretty clean starts. He just hit the restart zone and go. He didn't slow roll it. He seemed to just kind of hit it off right in the middle. Might not surprise any of the other drivers, so we'll just have to monitor that. But Nate Maurer, this guy's a pro. He's your points leader for a reason. Here we go, 71, going to hit that green start. We're green. Look at that jump, KK, as David Cook gets a good run off of that Geico restart zone.
Yeah, David Cook takes a commanding lead into turn one, just beats the doors off the 971, and here comes Bobby Dodson in that 32, make that inside line work. Here comes David Brenner in the 22, trying to get that extra momentum as they head into turn three and see if Brenner can make a move on old Bobby Dodson there.
Bobby really running strong. I don't know if he had to slow up or not, but look on the outside as Brenner continues to push that vehicle. That outside lane might be where it's at here early in this tire run. Bobby Dodson on the inside, but the story right now is Cook and Maurer side by side.
Yeah, I mean, Gene, that's going to be Brenner and Maurer side by side. Cook is still way out in the shit.
Thank you.
He's got over a second lead. As you can see him in the front of the field.
Out.
Oh, he's checking out because battling side by side. That's exactly what he wants to see in his rear view there, Mean Gene, as these two battle. But Brenner's able to get the best of Maurer, but I wouldn't say the best of Maurer. Maurer's a very patient guy. We know how he works, very calculated. So Maurer probably understanding he needs to save those tires, and he'll come back and get them a little bit later.
You can see some really nice racing back there. Cornette and Robert Richards, 99 in the 44, really giving each other a show. 98 right behind him. That's going to be old Joe Volpus. Joe almost got that win on Monday night. He really pushed his fuel and tires, and it just kind of fell apart at the end. Joe Volpus, love to see him have a strong run here tonight at Iowa. But right now, David Cook, just the story right now. I mean, we're reading a 10-chapter book, and right now the first 2 chapters, all they say is David Cook.
Yeah, I mean, Gene, he's out to the races, as one would say. But let's take a look back at Steve Lewis and company as they're battling out further back in the pack. It's quite a hornet's nest as he's battling on the outside of the 988 of Kyle Lynott. Now coming up on that T-bone stake, number 28 of Joseph Amato. Joe Amato there is the 88's got a great run on the outside and making that outside line work.
Those are T-bone teammates right there, so we expect them to work as well together as A1 Steak Sauce and Steak can work. That outside line really seems to be the story right now, KK. Look how clean Lewis used it to go around, and on that inside, Joe Amato on that 28 just kind of, I'm not going to say he's having difficulty. I think pretty much anybody on that inside taking their life into their own hands at this point, just getting ate up by that outside. You can see Steve Lewis continue to making short work of some of these cars.
They touch. Steve Lewis
he really
and
made short work of that guy.
Yeah, they touch Mean Gene. We were watching Kyle Lynott there be able to cut through the field pretty well, taking the outside and inside lanes as he's continuing to cut through the field, but looks like he got a little too close there to the old Steve Lewis. And let me see if I dial up a replay of that last move.
Yeah, I've heard of side drafting before. It looked like Lewis pulled up a side and opened up the passenger side door, throwing the aerodynamics off on Kyle Lynn's car.
Yeah, it looks like...
Yeah, you can see it right there.
Yes,
he just
sir.
reached out and opened the door. Really strategic move by Lewis, but guess what? Kyle Lynn, he's dialed in. He's coming right back. He's chasing Lewis back down. Joe Amato behind him. Really good racing back there. That's 7th, 8th, and 9th, 10th, 11th position right there.
Yeah, great call there, Mean Gene. Now and further ahead of the field with Bobby Dodson and tow. That's the 99 of Richards battling out with Bobby Dodson. But then there's Cornette in the 44. Hasn't made a lot of races this year, but still in playoff contention with this great finishes as he's trying to make that higher line work as well. As now we're getting a couple green flags in.
Yeah, you talk about those starts, and that's a really interesting story. We've had 9 races. Nate Maurer, your point leader, he's only run 7 of them. Chris Cornette as well, only run 7. He's in 9th in the points. Andrew Bolander also with 7 starts in that 11th. So, you know, quality, not quantity. You only have to run half of our races to be eligible for the chase, and we see these guys taking advantage when they have that opportunity. Chris Cornette right there in that 44 looking really strong as he's coming around chasing down Robert Richards. Bobby Dodson, the leader of that little group of 4, and Joe Volpus trying to make moves. Looks like Volpus is still trying to figure out exactly what his car can and cannot do. I would be afraid, though, when you're trying to find that better line, if it's going to eat up those tires. Drivers talked about 20 laps being when these cars are going to start to get tight. And hey, KK, we're running up on lap 19 right now.
Yeah, we're knocking them down right now, which is a great thing. And watching Kyle Lynott close back up on Steve Lewis here, I'm just trying to be, I'm intrigued on this battle as Kyle Lynott is going to need to try to find a way underneath Lewis, but they're almost 3 wide here coming in out of 4.
Terrifying action. Steve Lewis, he is leading that little group. He uses that outside lane perfectly to pull away, makes him 2 wide behind him, as you can see his T-bone teammate Joe Amato running in that 28. And he'd love to escape this mess. Amato's really been making a living down there on that bottom line. Going to be curious to see if his car gets a little bit tighter, a little bit faster. Side-by-side racing right there, Bobby Dodson, Robert Richards. You know, Richards, he wants to move up in the points, and he's going to need a good finish here today. And right behind them, there's that 44 of Cornette. He's had some really strong runs, been caught up in a couple of unfortunate incidents. Really nice to see those 3 guys right there running green here at Iowa. Lap 21 of 165, looking to hit that first stage at 50. We're almost halfway there.
Yeah, we're on board there with the 44 of Chris as he's trying to make it almost 3 wide, 6 his nose underneath the 99, but not enough drive-in speed there. Now the 32 and Robert, they're battling out. Looks like the 99 might have the better car right now as he's battling out underneath of the 32, and he's just looking to clear. But Bobby is not letting him clear. Is holding him at bay. It just causing probably more frustration for that 99 at the moment.
Yep, and that's going to let the 44 drift right into this picture. You got to wonder, though, how long are you willing to stay down on that bottom line? Finally, we see the 99 get clear there. He's going to be happy to take advantage of that preferred line. And look at Cornette on that outside. He just uses it masterfully to pull right up and make those three cars tight enough that you could probably not get
caution on the
it.
field there, Mean Gene. Caution on the field. As the yellow flag comes out for the second time tonight.
Looks like the 78 had a little wiggle.
Oh, big pile up here, Mean Gene. The 45 of Stephen Neal involved. Let's go take a look at Stephen in the 78.
Tied for 14th. I think that 78 just got loose on his own. I have to take a look at that.
Right. You're right, Mean Gene. That is definitely what it's looking like. That's Perkins, 19 laps down at the moment. He just gets loose there in that IK9.com Toyota Supra. So let's go ahead and take a look at it.
Incident number 2, huh? Wow, yeah, just getting tight on those 20-lap tires. Looks like Neil barely got him. That's not too terrible.
Oh, Owens almost gets hit. He's probably yelling at the 78 like he always does, yelling at everybody else. But looks like he's barely able to avoid that hit as that brings out our second caution of the evening.
Well, I didn't see Gibbs' unflattering hand gestures written down in the chat. So I think Owens is okay right now. Oh, look at the 57 doing some spins for us as well. That was exciting.
All right, we're back to
a little bit of
racing.
Excitement there. A little bit of excitement. Nothing to get the blood flowing. And these cars, let's see 57 if he wants the tires or if yes, I see it going up on that right side. And let's see if he goes up on that left side. There it is. Those invisible crew members really doing hard work down there right now.
That's right, Eugene. That's right.
I could see them in my head running around the front of the car. Don't get that air hose caught under my hood. Come on, buddy. Good job. No, he did. There's a problem down there. Might have an air hose stuck under a tire.
That's it. Let's see here. So, hey, lap 26 out of 165. We're going to hit lap 50. So we're halfway there to the stage. 2 cautions so far tonight. If you're just joining us here on the Wednesday night, Moonlight Racing League, Xfinity night for Wednesday nights here. As looks like Nate Maurer is going to be your leader as they go back green.
Yeah, really interesting to see who's taken and who is not. Looks like 27 cars on the lead lap. David Owens is being shown as 1 lap down. Have to keep an eye on that. David, he's been known to go 2 laps down and come back and win a race. So not an emergency situation for the number 2 points standing man. And also he's got that win on the year, so he's guaranteed in the chase. But we've talked to David Owens before. He'd love to get another regular season championship into his trophy case. Right now, David Owens, though, is in the pits. Maybe they're doing some repairs. That he might have taken a little bit more damage than we thought off of his initial incident from that first caution.
Yeah, Will, yeah, you're right there, Mean Gene. He's in there awfully long time, probably just getting some more repairs done and not using that fast repair at the moment.
56 of Matt Novella also taking this opportunity to get in there and get a little more ball peen hammer and duct tape on the vehicle.
Oh yeah, that ass end is bent all out of shape.
Yeah, that back that up. Not what you want to see if you're the driver. But hey, if you're chasing them in points, you don't mind at all. You don't mind at all. So we're going to go back up. Looks like Nate Maurer is going to be listed as your leader, not pitting. Nate is making it work out there. Robert Richards, Chris Cornette, Joe Volpis, the Rooster, Robert Babcock. Welcome back to the top 5, Rooster. Steve Lewis running 6, Kyle Lynn 7, Joe Amato 8, Ty Killen 9, and Sean Walton. That is your top 10 as we are getting ready to go back to green here on lap 28 at Iowa.
That's right. Looks like, can't tell, pace car lights are off. They are off, so we'll be getting some green flag racing dropping next time by. It looks like Nate Mauer's going to take that outside lane, which is going to be interesting. As long as he gets a great jump, I don't see it being an issue. Let's see.
Yeah, you don't want him under you, but it's so fast. That's so fast out there right now.
Yeah.
All these cars, you're looking at the top 9 are on 29 lap tires. Sean Walton, he's on 20. He's got the same amount of tires, but it looked like he took a splash around lap 3. So Sean is guaranteed to make the rest of this run. But with this being our second caution, I'm imagining fuel is not going to be an issue, even if we go green the rest of the way. And they are gridding up. The pace car is off. We are coming around turn 4. 971 a Mauer. He does not hesitate, and he's going to take him wide open here on that outside. Robert Richards, Chris Cornett, Joe Volpus on the outside 4th, and you can see the 2 of the Rooster, Babcock. He's under Volpus now, side-by-side racing for 4th and 5th position. But Nate Mauer with that jump, he's got that lead over Richards, and here comes Cornett. He'd love to put his name into the hat.
Yeah, that's right. Cornett's he hasn't been at all the races, so I'm sure he's hungry to get himself up there in a great finishing position here tonight at Iowa. As like you said, Mean Gene, they're still trying to get this thing straightened out 2 by 2 as now Joe Amato gets filed in single file. But these guys are almost wide. Yes, sir.
That was a scary moment. He got Steve Lewis right in front of him. Joe Volpus tapping the wall right there, but he still holds his position. Look at this replay.
Oh, sorry, that was just the yellow flag. Yes, sir.
And look at the 28. He's like, maybe I should get on the outside. Oh.
Wow, but yeah, two by two racing all the way throughout the field. There's Dave Kirkpatrick fighting the 26 right now.
Sean Walton is right up on the tail there.
Yeah, it's right up behind Steve Lewis. Oh, it's the 24 gets a little loose there. I don't know if he's able to. Is there 3 wide? That's gonna put them 3 wide. Hunter Oso Manley, Dave Kirkpatrick. Who's gonna win out? As no one gives up an inch here as they enter turn 3 and 4, 3 wide.
And normally the 24 is in that faster lane, but he's got a guy outside of him. Oh, then the inside car swerves up. Nice crossover move, but he's just going to fall into line, the 24. He doesn't want to play games right now. That's Ty Killa running in that 24, and he falls right back into line. Up front now, looking at Nick Howard leading the pack. Robert Richards chasing him down. Chris Cornett in 3rd. A little side-by-side racing brought to you by Top Split Productions right here. Nice work, KK.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much there.
Robert Babcock, he's starting to put moves on this field. He is closing it up into 4th. He got by Joe Volpus after Volpus tapped the wall. And you can see those top 4 cars right there. Cornett runs a little high. Babcock going to take advantage. He's underneath on that apron, but Cornett maintains that speed. These guys are running on tires now, 36 laps on these tires. They're tight, but they say that there's enough rubber on it to make it to the end. Look at Cornett fall into line. 78 in the back right there. He is becoming an issue as those cars are lapping him and putting him just a few more laps down.
Mean Gene, you called it, Mean Gene. An issue again as he causes another accident, I believe, as there's a huge pile up here. Oh, we're having some great racing there by Cornett. You can see Cornett just slicing the field up. Let's take a look and see how this thing transpired.
Watch what happens to Don Francesco there at the end, too. That is just so. Steve Lewis is a part of the madness.
So 78's running low. Yeah, but he's slow, so he's staying low out of the racing line, it looks like. Let's take a look at our full speed.
All right. The 28 of Amato comes in hot. There's Walton. And everybody gets a piece right there. The 78 just kind of went up high. I think that might be incident number 3. I think if it ain't 3, it's 2. So there might be a little talking going on right now with MRL officials.
Yeah, and that's just terrible, like you said, for Don Francisco. He's doing really well there in the leading points. Let's take a look at Oh, that hood does come out. He gets some damage there. Let's
Yeah, he hit him pretty solid.
go on board here with Francisco as he sees this accident unfold in front of himself.
It's like, okay, I'll avoid that guy. All right, hey, look, I'm going to make it. No, I'm not.
Yeah,
And Steve Lewis stops to say, are you okay? No, you're not. Your hood's jacked. Steve Lewis, always a friendly voice up on the track, letting Francesco know, hey, man, your hood, something's wrong. And there's Francesco now. I can hear the sawzall cutting. Ah, look at that. Burger King kind of would like a Whopper right about now.
That does sound pretty good there, Mean Gene, as we're on board with the Burger King Have It Your Way drone cam, brought to you here live by Burger King. As the number 3, I don't know if he's using a fast repair. I think it's too early for Don Francisco. He's probably just sitting there getting some repairs done, trying not to go a lap down.
Yeah, you want to avoid going a lap down. Luckily, there are the 2-stage brakes. Those are going to give you that opportunity for a lucky dog. Again, today's stage breaks will be at lap 50 and lap 100. So we're creeping up on that. We're here at lap 39. You're looking at probably about a 9 lap shootout until they get to that last stage. Oh,
I'd say
Owens,
so.
yeah, look at Owens has that car's riding sideways a little bit.
Yeah, I think, Mean Gene, looking at, I don't know if he got the damage repair completely, because that car looks pretty good. I know the right front was pretty banged up, and it looks pretty clean from here. So maybe David Owens used that fast repair that time by.
He keeps bringing it in there, though. He's a master tactician. And every one of these cautions, he's coming in, speeding out to stay on the lead lap, and then he'll go right back in and let him do a little bit more work on that car. So not surprised David Owen is taking advantage of this. Down in the pits, I can see the 3. He's still trying to get this thing going and try to stay up on that lead lap, but he is not going to have that opportunity as Don Francesco in that number 3 AC Delco. He is going to be a lap down. It's rolling again, though, so that's hopeful for him.
Yeah, a lot of damage on that hood, though. You can see the front hood buckled a little bit, not meeting flush. The front bumper twisted up the front splitter, so that's really going to hurt there. The number 3, maybe he's hoping for a couple more cautions to get some more work done on that car, as Nate Mauer's going to be leading us back to green.
You see Matt Novella right now behind Don Francesco saying, hey, that car's good, right? You're going to get up to speed? He says, of course I am. You can follow in behind me and draft. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah, no, and Matt Novella's car's not looking too bad for himself either, so we'll see. He might have used that fast repair too there, Mean Gene, because that ass end looks awfully flat. So we'll have to just see if he gets involved in any more later incidents, if he's done, or if he has that fast repair saved in the bank. As looks like David Owens and Matt Novella are back on the lead lap. Your next person down is going to be Colin Bollinger, which was our pole sitter. He is a lap down, so it's showing me at the moment. So unfortunate there for the 53, having some bad luck there.
Stock car racing, the only time that you really want to have a flat ass in the room. But we are getting ready to go green here again. The lap car looks like the pace car has its lights off.
Yes, sir.
So we should be about one more time around. Right now, Nate Mauer, he is your race leader. Robert Richards, Chris Cornett, Robert Babcock, Joe Volpis. All these guys right now, top 7, still running on 41 laps of tires. Pace car is off. 971, hammer down, takes him out into turn 1. It is Nate Mauer in the lead. Richards drifts on up to that preferred lane. Cornett and Babcock almost side by side. Babcock lets off and lets Cornett fall into line. Top 5, all single file.
Yeah, Nate Mauer did a great job on that restart, but here comes Robert Richards. He's got a full head of speed trying to chase him down. 988 Colonna and Robert the Babcock. He's looking real great.
Rooster got a little loose right there. Rooster got a little loose. He had an incident.
I still like the 44. He might have a chance here to make some noise here for the stage win, as he's trying to look away around the 99 at the moment.
And now look at that, Babcock. No sooner do I say the guy got a little bit of loose, and now he's sticking his nose in there trying to make a move. How about a move? Look at the 44 going underneath Robert Richards, trying to hold that inside lane, but caution again.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like Joe Volpus got a little wiggly.
That's going to shoot him up in the fence.
Did he have help from Amato back there? I'm not sure how close they were.
Yes, he did. Okay, so that wasn't the cause of the incident, though. It's too far. Let's take it to blimp. Must have happened in front of the action here. So let's.
Yeah, I see. The only thing I really saw was Amato giving him a little bump. Yeah, let's end that.
Well, it must have happened further back. If let's see, take a look at Kevin Brower. See, behind Joseph.
Well, we are at lap 45, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 5 laps left until we are going to call this first stage complete. Nate Maurer has been dominating. David Cook ran up there with him for a little while. Cook right now finds himself back in 17th position. Best lap still is by David Cook, and he would love to make his way through this pack and get back up. But ever since he came in for that quick little splash and go to ensure he could make it to the end of the stage, he has been caught up in traffic. Nate Maurer, on the other hand, he is now in the pit, taking some fuel, making sure that he will be able to make it to the end of this run. 13.6 second pit there by the leader, Maurer. 13.6. Can you get right sides on that?
Yo, definitely. That's definitely a 4-second stop, I believe there, Mean Gene. I think what they're doing is basically trying to flip the stage since it's going to be a shootout, and they probably won't pit or just come in and top off. And so I think that's what the plan was there with the top pair there. But
Yeah,
Alex McWhorter, Alex McWhorter though with a 5.4 stop, so that sounds like fuel only for Alex McWhorter to 15, as he has that jumped in front of Nate there, and the rest of the top 3, like you said, Mean Gene, that's Larry Johnson, Aaron Espe, and Alex McWhorter all had sub 7-second stops. So see if that's enough for them to get this stage win, or if Nate Maurer and company is able to get some positions on those 4 fresh tires.
Hey, Larry Johnson, that's a nice name. We saw him lead a lot of laps in stage 1 last week before he got caught up in the soup. So good to see the 963 of Larry Johnson making an appearance here up at the front. He's going to get a point for leading the lap. Those points do add up as we're looking at the bottom 7 guys fighting for that 14th and final position, are really only separated by about 20 points. So if you led a lap at every race, that's 10 of those points right there. David Owens going in the pits again. Time for the old ball peen hammer and duct tape.
Yeah, definitely. He's coming in to get some more work done.
He's cleaning that. Look at that back end now, though. Boy, that looks pristine almost. He is making good progress. Good shout out to that pit crew. Those guys are getting it done. Right now, Larry Johnson is your race leader. You can see Aaron Espy on the outside. Couple rookies in the front row. Be interesting to see what they can do. Espy yet to pit. He is 48 laps deep on those tires. Alex McWhorter behind them. Nate Maurer 4th. Robert Richards 5th. Chris Cornett. David Owens fresh in the pits. Not going to be in 7th. Robert Babcock, Sean Walton, Kyle Lynn, Ty Killa is going to be your top 10 as we are about to finish lap 48. Looks like it might be a 2-lap shootout depending on when they go green. Gonna have to keep an eye on that.
Unless they're calling, I mean, because the pace car lights are still on. That'd take them to lap. That should be lap 49.
Now, did the lights go off right there?
Yeah, they did. So they're probably gonna let them go green
at 50.
Yeah, because they'd go green at 50. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how this plays out, as we don't have any word yet from race control what exactly is going on.
Well, they're definitely going to go green here on this next restart. That we do know. Larry Johnson being shown as your leader. Aaron Espy next to him. McCorder, Maurer, Richards. That is your top 5. They are tightening up, getting ready for that pace car. He goes off the track into the Geico restart zone. And boom, there we go. Bottoms up, hammer down. 963. Larry Johnson is your leader. He glides up into that preferred lane, leading him around. They are side by side behind him. 971. Nate Maurer, he's going to make it 3 wide as that 959 gets eaten up like a Whopper with cheese at 2 o'clock in the morning on a full bourbon belly.
That's right, Mean Gene. Man, you're making me hungry with all these Whopper calls, but that's for sure.
How about the 99? He wants to take it sideways, and that puts him right in the grass. Let's see if we get a caution out of that one.
Oh, they're going to throw the yellow again.
Well, I think that one might have been for speed. MRL has been pretty consistent about if there is an incident that makes the front of the field slow down dramatically, they will throw that caution so that people don't bunch up. You don't want to see the back 15 cars come slamming into the front 15 cars. Or maybe you do. I don't know. That's up to you, ladies and gentlemen. If you do, go to Talladega this weekend. I'll be there. Give me a shout out. We'll get together, take pictures.
Yeah, Louie, you're going to have, Jerry, sorry. Jerry, so you're going to Mean Gene. Are you going to have a Mean Gene meetup is what I'm hearing.
Oh, we could absolutely have it. I hear David Owens is going to be there. That'll be fun. Tony Fox. I think he's going to. Tommy Fox. I think Tommy Fox might be there if Tommy runs in our Friday night series. Hoping to get in touch with him as well. So, yeah, if you're listening right now and you're going to be at Talladega, please leave a comment here in the YouTube section. And, hey, while you're here, why don't you go ahead and like and subscribe what you're seeing so we can continue to grow this channel, brought to you by MRL Broadcasting and Top Split Productions. Yeah, we'll have a meetup. Why not? We'll take pictures. We'll go on the track together. It'll be fun. Gene,
I see the red light on the pit lane close. I mean, I don't know if these guys are coming in under a closed pit lane or what exactly is going on here. I'm trying to listen in on the chat to see exactly what we have going on, but I just can't figure it out. So
how about the 3 coming around like a rocket? That's one storyline answered. He's going to be your lucky dog.
Yeah, he was 2 laps back, number 3 of Don Francesco, and now he's going to grab that lap back. So hopefully he has that fast repair left in the bank, and he hadn't used it and had more damage. As you can see, that car is still pretty well damaged, but seems like he's going to just try to work and stay on 1 lap down and get another lucky dog, as he really doesn't have anybody battling him for it, as the next car's -7 laps, and that would be Jonathan Quesabere.
Yeah. Oh, Quesabere. Huh? That's my favorite
How's it
name.
going, boys? Y'all got a copy?
David Owens, how we doing? David, got to ask you, that's 78. Was he the first recipient of the 3-and-out rule?
Yeah, he's going to be the first recipient of the park for the season.
Yeah, real unfortunate for him. These cars are not easy to get around with, and we saw him get loose 2-3 times, and then that 3rd time, it just seemed like he came right up into traffic, and well, if you're in the middle of the road sideways, Steve Lewis might find you, and that's exactly what we saw.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Actually, no, he's been parked for the remaining of this season due to actions detrimental to the league for regular caution.
What do you do when that happens? Let's say I want to race, and the car, I just can't get my car under control. And so, I can't handle this car. I can't race in this series. Is there a pathway for these guys to get back on the track at some point? Thursday nights, we run trucks. Friday nights, we run late model stocks. Is that what you would do? Would you look at the Friday night, get a little better there, and come back up? Is that the course?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, ask them, hey, look, let's give these cars a little bit easier cars to drive, our Friday night late model stocks. And then maybe, hey, also try out the trucks. They're a lot more forgiving as well. So try to, put them on the path there if this isn't working out for them.
You see what I did there, KK? I led him into a trap because Mean Gene money will be available for that Thursday night race. So I'll be out there swerving hard. And you heard it right here. David Owen said that they're easier, so I'll find out firsthand.
What happened with the stage here, David? Was it on lap 49 and then you guys went green for the second stage at lap 50?
No, sir. We called the stage at the last green flag lap because cautions here apparently are about 4 laps to 5 laps long, apparently. So we didn't want a 1 lap shootout, then throw a yellow.
And then what brought out the yellow was Robert Richards in the infield?
Yep, Robbie Richards on his birthday, losing control and running out of talent.
Okay.
But he's been running strong up front, so you can't say that. He just had a moment lapse. I'm sure we're going to see him right back up there real soon.
Yep, keep an eye on him. He'll charge through the field. May or may not use that front bumper of his.
Well, what else would you use the front bumper for? All right, I see the lights are off on that pace car. Number 11, David Owens. Good luck out there, my friend. Get you some points back. Chase old Nate down.
Yes, sir. Thank you, boys.
All right, nice update there by him, huh, KK?
Yeah, it's real swell of the guy to come in here and let us spot up.
I needed to know, and now we know. So we see that rule come into effect. Josh Perkins, he was the first person to get that rule, but we'll see him again. Larry Johnson leads him into the Geico restart zone. Good start. He comes right up into that preferred lane, right ahead of Nate Maurer. Nate Maurer and Chris Cornett side by side. Maurer trying to make use of that outside, though. Now he's side by side with the 963. Cornett on the inside with 3 wide for the lead.
Yeah, Nate Maurer is going to go ahead and do a great job on the outside and show these guys how the race here at Iowa is. He's going to get that fresh air on the front of that nose as now the 44 and the 963 are battling out. There's Sean Walton in the 23 trying to make a move underneath, looking for a way around, and there is the Robert the Babcock number 2 there looking great underneath. As we're going to see how that 963 Larry Johnson hangs on the outside.
He tapped the wall right there, and that's going to let Walton peek his nose down there. Walton now side by side with Johnson, and now the 2 Babcock is loose.
He's getting turned as he's going to slide back up in front of the field. The 57 gets hit by the 07, but Jimmy Johnson's going to take a shot there by Scotty Estep as cars are going flying everywhere here again at Iowa. The
deuce was loose, wasn't he? The deuce was loose.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and Babcock knows he did it too. He's already in the race chat saying, hey, go ahead and give me that EOL. Good thing about a lot of these drivers, they're going to take accountability for what happens. And that's just the car right there. You're on that restart, and sometimes, most of the time, the car's not going to be doing what it was when it was running under perfect conditions. Let's look though. He's got a guy real close to him right there, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I think he might have some help there, Mean Gene. Let's take a look at this beautiful bean footage.
Oh! It got real exciting real fast there. Who was that? Who did it? I got my pointer finger ready.
Kyle Lynn there. He might have got him just a little bit. But let's take a look from above here. And
Kyle Lynn, he's been up front all day. He's been aggressive down there on that apron. That looked like a same time situation. Looked like Babcock was getting a little bit loose. Drifts up McQuarter into it. You can see the 24 Ty Killa. He's going to go ahead and pick up Robert Richards right there. They're getting wild. Bobby Dobson right there. Oh, the 57. That's Brandon Guerin. The 07, another incident for him. Hey, Steve Lewis. There's a wreck, and there's Steve Lewis as he gets rammed by Robert Richards from behind. Unfortunate, man. I'll tell you what. It's amazing with these tighter fields. The car gets a little loose or a little tight, and then there's just suddenly 11 cars all into this thing. And we've seen the same names get caught up in these things, and they're not even the initiators of it. Steve Lewis, we can see right there as he's getting caught up in it. The 57, we've seen him get whacked a few times when he had nothing to do with it as well. Just unfortunate. But in these smaller fields, you got to take that defensive driving class back from high school. Defensive driving, it's for more than just getting out of a DUI, guys. You need to look around and figure out who you're around with and start to recognize these drivers that will ride more aggressively. Sometimes you don't even have to touch, or that net code will get you too, KK.
Yeah, Mean Gene. I'm just I just think I'm all out of words here, as guys are going to take another caution last. We're lap 62. We're trying to get to 100. That's our next goal, lap 100. As Nate Maurer is side by side with the pace car. His pace car's got a nice outside line there, nice groove momentum. Pace car's got some more momentum. The pace car takes the lead. Nate Maurer is going to get chased down by the 44. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm starting to get confused.
But Maurer drops the hammer. He's going down.
Sorry, I'm getting confused now between live racing and the yellow flag, since we're having so many here lately. But it's tough. It's tough. These cars are tough. I don't like that's why I don't race Xfinity that much, because they are a tough car. I'm not gonna lie. Like, they take a lot of skill and patience to get these cars around the track. And just because you see Nate Maurer and some of these guys kick ass doesn't mean you can. You got to work your way up to that skill level and practice and put the time in, as Nate Maurer and the 44 Cornette and Sean Walton and some of these guys that have been up in the front a lot do. So it's patience, and we'll get there.
MRL officials have come down with their verdict. Both Babcock and Kyle Lynn are going to get that EOL. The 2 and the 988 are going to take it to the back. And also seeing that Tommy Fox in that 57 car, he also has disconnected. I think a little bit too much damage on that 57, and he's going to park it.
Yeah, you can hear, we're on board here with Nate Maurer. You can hear the car is turned off. He's saving as much fuel as he can right now.
The dirty trickster. I do my shifted on the wheel, so I don't even have a clutch. So these guys with that opportunity to save those laps, ride the clutch, turn the car off. Good for them. All right, here we go. The pace car is up. They're into the Geico restart zone. Chris Cornette on the inside, trying to hold off the 971. Now, Cornette was listed as your leader, but Maurer quickly into the lead. Is that something officials got to look at?
No, I think we're okay there, Mean Gene. And honestly, I was trying to get us off the yellow flag replay, so I wasn't quite paying attention, to be honest.
Interesting. I'm not sure when you're allowed to make a pass. It happens fast, though. Here we go. 971. He's up high. Cornette as well, chasing him down. Sean Walton, the 23, involved in this. He is in third. McWhorter gets by Johnson. That's for fourth, putting Johnson back into fifth. Good racing. Cornette underneath the 971. Maurer wiggles a little bit. Cornette going to dip his nose. Let's see if Maurer can maintain speed on that outside lane. Ooh, look at Walton ride it up. Scary.
And I think
is that Kyle Lynn coming into the picture?
Yeah,
that looks like
right,
Kyle Lynn coming into the picture.
That's right, Mean Gene.
Yeah, this ought to be really fascinating, because Lynn has a car that's been as fast as these other guys until he was involved in that incident. There's a part of him that's still going to want to race these boys. He does not want to find himself a lap down. Kyle Lynn right now fighting to stay on that lead lap.
And Nate Maurer gives up that lead position there to the 44 Cornette. Now that Sean Walton looks underneath the 971.
I don't know. He didn't give up anything. Those guys fought hard. I've seen gifts given out more readily at Christmas time than what we just saw right there. Good fighting. And now it's Sean Walton peeking his nose underneath. He'd love to get by Maurer as well. You got to wonder if there's something going on with that 971 of Maurer, or the way that he was shutting it off during that caution. Is he just doing some math and counting backwards? A little early for that, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, a little early, but you got to save early. You got to save early on to make it count later on. You know what I mean? Every little bit you can save is a huge deal. As the 23-15 had a little bit of a blink there, but now the 971 under duress a little bit. Now here comes Sean Walton looking for his way around the night of Nate.
Yeah, Walton's been running strong. He cut through this field, and he did it the old-fashioned way. with elbow grease. So he is really going to want to make it work to get by Maurer. Maurer, though, he seems to be dialed back in. He's got that 971 on a rail, and it'll be a little bit more of an effort for the 23 to take over that position than it was for him to get back up into third. You can see McWhorter in fourth, and oh my word, look on that outside rail right behind McWhorter. Who do you see? Red hot David Cook. He's coming
back.
He is in fifth. He'd love to find himself as he peaks down below McWhorter, and he is coming hard, KK.
Yeah, David Cook's on a mission, right now. It's got the same, looks like the same stint on tires or pit stops, and everyone's probably on the same strategy here with their first set of tires taken off and on their second pair right now, trying to make them last as long as they can to get to lap 100.
Yeah, really strong racing right now. The story, of course, Chris Cornett. He would love to move up in position. He'd love a win so that he can get himself guaranteed into the chase. Maurer right behind him, your points leader. Sean Walton in fourth. David Cook, Mr. Red Hot. He's got 2 wins in a row. He'd love to keep that going. Keep an eye on that 15, though, McWhorter. He ran really fast in practice. He might be biding his time right now. McWhorter, he's been caught up in a few incidents. So maybe, once bitten, twice shy. He's taking his time back there.
Yeah, Alex doing a great job rebounding from some of that. I know he was involved in those earlier instances, like you said there, Mean Gene, as he's showing some great pace, and he had a great qualifying time. I think he was qualified 4th, I believe, so definitely has the pace to be up there. Sean Walton qualified 13th, and so did looks like Chris Cornett in 11th. So it's a couple big movers there, having some great pace throughout the race now, and missing some of that trouble to show up there at the top right now.
I'm looking a little bit further back in the field. They're spread out a little bit. You can see Hunter Manley. He's running in that 26. He's in 6th, pacing out behind him. You can see Kevin Brower, David Brenner. So these guys are spreading out as they're trying to close that gap. And then where it gets really interesting is around that 24 of Ty Killa and the 963. You can see these guys are bunched up, and they look like a swarm of piranhas coming in. And you would not be one ahead of Lamb right there.
Great call there, Mean Gene. As you can see, it is a big cluster back here.
That's David Owens in the middle of that. He does not want to be part of the foolishness. Look at the fire coming out of the pipes as these guys go into the turns, letting off. Ty Kill and David Owens get awful tight. How about that 45, Stephen Neal, tied for 14th in points. Neal needs a good run today. Robert Richards right behind him in points. Bobby Dodson. These are players.
Oh, a huge red bell. Oh my God, Larry Johnson again. The 53 of Bollinger. Unbelievable. Oh no.
Well, I guess there was nothing to eat, so the piranhas ate each other.
Oh, and poor Stephen Neal hits damage just after you got done talking to him, Mean Gene. Sure, you're gonna get a thank you letter in the mail there.
Yeah, get the broadcaster's curse. I looked back there and I saw that group of cars, and I was hoping they wouldn't get too wiggly, but that, the air just changes when you got that many cars all together.
It's gonna start right here with the 963, and
Johnson was falling backwards a little bit. You could see him; he was in that lead group, and suddenly he's back there with the piranhas.
Yeah, it looks like I think the 53 just heads up the track, and the 963 isn't on that same game plan. And
oh no! And Ty gets caught up in it. Look at Owens with the ninja move to get through that hot mess. Bobby Dodson gets through. Looks like the 28 Joe Amato is going to get through that foolishness.
Scotty S up there in the 48 cuts the center there.
Beautifully way to go, SP. Good job to get out of that. And is that the 2 up there high trying to avoid that mess, or the 8?
Take another look there, Mean Gene.
Yeah, he definitely rode up. That's unfortunate. Johnson was a little bit off the pace, but that's no reason to come across his nose. There's other ways to express your displeasure. Oh, there's a little T-bone action right there. Now I'm moving up from Burger King to a steak.
It's like just the 3 cars involved for the most part. A couple cars down in the grass. All right, not too bad.
Actually, that might have been a case of beer up high trying to get through that. Well, unfortunate series of events there. Larry Johnson slightly off the pace, and then the 53 just comes riding right up into him. That is Colin Bollinger. Bollinger's car, perhaps it was tight, perhaps it was loose, but regardless, it's now in the pits. And actually, it is being parked. As we can see, Bollinger has now parked his car, and he will be done for the day. The number 4 driver in points, now leaving Iowa.
Pole sitter.
Unfortunate. So Stephen Neal, the 45, given it EOL after that series of events right there.
Interesting.
Not sure what his part was in that incident.
He might have asked for it, being maybe he's under power. You know, maybe they're not penalizing them, hopefully, because yeah, as we watched the replay, it didn't look like he had any part of that foolishness.
No, it did not. Hopefully he can keep that thing running. Stephen Neal was tied for 14th with Bobby Dodson, that last position to get into the chase. We'd love to see Neal continue to run strong. We'll see what he does as he is going to do this restart in the back of the field. We are at lap 81, chasing down lap 100 to end the next stage under caution. And right now, Chris Cornett and Nate Mauer are battling. They're on that front row. Sean Walton, David Cook, Alex McWhorter, those top 5 with a really strong racing there at the end before we see the piranhas turn into hyenas and eat each other alive. So we are going to see, look at Cornett, he's pushing that pace car. He'd love to get this race going again while his car is still dialed in.
Yeah, he's feeling the rhythm. He's got the momentum right now. He's got the fresh air out front, and the only problem is he's going to be side by side with Nate Mauer at the restart. And this will be a great battle. These two have been battling out all night long. Like you said, you got the 71 back there, and also Sean Walton's no slouch either. As this top 4 is going to be something to watch here towards the closing laps of the stage 2.
Yeah, Sean came charging up through that field in that 23 Toyota. So not a surprise to see him on this restart if he was to bumper ahead and move through it. You know, that was a comment David Owens made earlier about some drivers using their bumper. There's a way you can use it and not destroy the guy in front of you. But then again, there's also a high chance that you're also going to injure yourself if you employ that style of driving. So these guys don't want to take unnecessary risks, but on the other hand, they want to win.
Yeah, we're on board with David Cook in the 71 now. He's going to be starting on the row 2 outside lane, and we're going to go on board here for the first lap. See what he sees through his eyes.
All right, pace car is off. We're about to take him green. And look at that jump. Cornett on the outside. David Cook right behind him. That's the row, though. Mauer keeping it tight. Mauer comes up into that preferred line. Second place side by side. You can see Walton and Cook. Walton down on the apron. Cook gets the momentum on the outside. Top 4 cars now single file. Alex McWhorter, he's in 5th. And those 5, we might see them run away quickly, but that's not what you want to see. Kevin Brower, he wants to stay in tight, and the 26 as well of Hunter Manley keeping it close. Look at Manley and the 7 of Brower side-by-side racing. A little bit up front, though. We're going to see Cornett. Lapped car might be coming into the picture, KK. Caution on the track.
Did you say something, Mean Gene? Did you say caution?
Looked like a caution came out.
All right, let's take a look, see if we can find her here. Oh, we got the number 8 of Bolander and the 27 David Kirkpatrick turn around and having a Mexican showdown. Let's see exactly.
Looked like that 27 might have got a little bit loose.
Oh yeah, him. Let's see. It all started with the 27 here. Around him, Bobby Dotson on the outside of Dave Kirkpatrick here. Let's go ahead and take a look at full speed or half speed. What are we gonna call her?
Oh yeah, look at Bobby. Bobby bringing it around, the 27 looking good. Bobby says, oh no, I don't want to hit the wall. I gotta do something different. So he comes down. Maybe he wanted a beer.
Interesting move there. Maybe he did want to appear. Maybe he was knocking on the vending machine there of old 27.
Ooh, and look at that. A Reese's Cup and a Miller Lite at the same time. I'm not sure about that combination.
No, that's not too great of a combination there, Mean Gene. Maybe on Halloween, but
I've had chocolates. I've had dark chocolate with a Cabernet Sauvignon before. That's good.
Yeah, that is. They do the wine tasting and pairing with the chocolates. I've done that also, Mean Gene, and I have to say, if you haven't tried it, it's worth trying.
It is, but right there, as we see Andrew Bolander, he wanted a beer, and that was not what he wanted to do. Going to be interesting to see what they're going to talk about if Bobby Dodson might get a little bit of the old EOL action, MRL officials replaying that as we speak. We are not in direct communication with MRL officials. We have no influence on any of the calls. We are watching it live, just like you, ladies and gentlemen, and we are just commentating about what we see and speculating about what could be. So, just like you, we're going to wait and see. David Brenner right now giving a shout out to the Hawk 2 of 2024 campaign. Remember, go vote, ladies and gentlemen. Go vote.
Yeah, iRacing has not done the repave update yet, as the real Iowa has had some repaved action there and the turns, a couple offset lanes getting paved, which make it a little interesting. But the track does race pretty well here. I don't know if I've raced this one at night yet, but they've definitely done some night races, and you just have to watch that rear end. Too heavy of braking going into turns, and that ass end can really move out on you. So gotta be careful on that front.
A lot faster now, right? It's a lot faster now.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say with the repaving?
I would say. I mean, that was the first time the Cup cars ever raced on it, right? Or did they race last season at Iowa? Or was this the first year?
I don't have that information in my notes.
I think this was the first year they raced at it, and they had the repave. But the drivers were saying how fast it felt. They said it felt kind of speedway-ish. As we're getting some trouble there, Larry Johnson trying to get down pit lane. He's a little discombobulated. Looks like that right front's a little higher than the left front.
Well, he was going backwards before he got whacked 2 cautions ago, so I wouldn't be surprised if he'd like a little touch-up. Larry Johnson, he was leading briefly in that 963 car. Okay, and right now we're getting a little update. Remember, the 3 of Nicholas Don Francesco was injured earlier, and right now he is trying to manage 16 minutes of damage. 16 minutes of damage, and he's trying to stay up as close as he can. Don Francesco, he's being shown 1 lap down.
Yeah, so and he's battling out there with the Stephen Neal that's back on track 1 lap down. So, yeah, it doesn't look too good for Nicholas there in the number 3 car as
they got a hood on that 45 again. Look at that.
Yeah, the Greendale College Community Pit Crew does a great job there for the number 45.
I didn't know they had a auto body program there. Good for them.
Yeah, apparently they do. And Stephen Neal is the full recipient of that program.
What I want to know, though, is I'm looking at that car right now. That paint is still wet on that hood. I wonder whose hood that is. You know, where did he go back there from one of the cars that have come off the track and just hijack their hood and repaint that thing? A lot of shady stuff going on right now here at Iowa.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Gene, they could have just pulled it back there in the cornfields and done some trickery to it, put a new hood on there, but we'll never know. As the 2 Napa cars, the 32 and the 3, have had trouble tonight of Bryson Dotson. And
here we go. We are in the Geico restart zone. Chris Cornett on the outside. He leads them. Good jump. He's got Sean Walton coming with him. And underneath, you can see Nate Maurer. Maurer falls into 3rd. And then he quickly does that crossover on Walton. Let's see if Maurer on these tires can hold that inside lane. Chooses to fall back into line. Hunter Manley now coming into the picture. And you can see that 71 of David Cook taking that high line. Cook can get that car moving on that outside with that momentum.
Yeah, you can see there, like exactly like you said, Mean Gene. He's going to take a run now at Nate on the inside, but Nate's going to have a little bit better momentum now off of exit. If he can dial it down.
and I'm going to keep an eye out a little bit back as we see Alex McWhorter. He was making some aggressive moves. David Brenner got by him. Joe Amato and the 56 of Novella right under Amato. You can see Joe Volpus. There is a pit of Vipers right there. And you know, at any minute, it could go wrong, especially for those inside lane cars. Once these things get tight, they will come down and touch. Volpus making a sharp move to stay in line behind Amato. Really good racing here in the back of the field as well. Back up front, though, you can see all kinds of action. Look at that pit right there. Amato using that bottom lane.
Yeah, we're back at with Amato. I was trying to find Joe Volpus's number there. I was having difficulty there.
Well, sometimes it's 7 and sometimes it's 98.
That's right, Mean Gene. But great call on catching that action back here in this hornet's nest. I got a replay though of a bump we saw earlier up front with the leaders. Take a quick look here. This is going to be between Sean Walton, I believe, and the 44.
Look how close those guys are. Oh, wiggle, wiggle. Good save by Walton. That was amazing driving right there by the 23 Toyota to keep that thing on the straight and narrow. Right now, though, we're back watching. Look at Owens trying to go underneath Brenner. McWhorter in the 15 continues to fall back. Remember, McWhorter was one of those top 5 drivers. Knight finds himself back there battling in 8 side by side with David Owens. That's the 28 of Amato, the 22 of Brenner, 23 of Walton falling back. And you can see other cars starting to come into the picture. The 56 of Novella. This is some really exciting racing that we're seeing. And hey, look down below that 971 Kyle Lynn. He has got his name back in the hat. Kevin Brower in that pack as well. Really strong racing as we can see these guys hopefully be able to maintain control of these cars and make their way around. We are on lap 96, pushing our way to lap 100. That will be your stage break. And at this point, it is Nate Maurer powering the crew with Chris Cornett 0.2 of a second behind him. Those two lead cars really making it happen. Look at that move by Owens.
Yeah,
really exciting
Owens.
stuff out here.
As we're watching Owens, you can see him catching the 23 of Walton. That little push that Cornett gave to him must have really fouled him up and screwed off his rhythm as he's really dropping like a rock now after that incident.
Yeah, unfortunate. We can see the 23 having a little bit of incident. Alex McWhorter also got a bump by up in that lead group, and you could see him fall back as well. But right now, it is your series leader, 971 of Maurer. He is leading Cornett. Those two guys relatively close, and then a second behind you see David Cook. I wonder, pit lane is closed now as we are down to the last 2 laps here in this stage 1 ending, pushing for that green flag, checkered flag of stage 2. 1 more to go.
That's it, Mean Gene.
Look at this run right here by Maurer. This is why he is your series leader. This is why he has won 4 races in only 7 starts. Nate Maurer powering around the track in that 971 Toyota, leading Cornett. Cornett also a 7-start driver, trying to chase him down. And there she blows. Ladies and gentlemen, stage 2 winner, Nate Maurer. That's going to be his 3rd stage win of the year. Nate just continues to collect accolades here in our Wednesday night Xfinity League, brought to you by MRL Broadcasting and Top Split Productions. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you see, go ahead and take this opportunity to just give us a like, give us a follow, call your friends, have them sign up. Always exciting stuff going on. And remember, this league is wide open to everybody. If you're a starter in iRacing, we've got our Friday night league. You can come run the super stocks and the wheel and modifieds. You got Thursdays available. You can run trucks. And then once you get your iRating moving up a little bit, you can come into our Monday and our Wednesday night series. They're running next-gen cars over on that Monday league. We're running Xfinity here tonight as Nate Maurer wins that stage, and he's leading them down pit road. I see some cars staying out, KK. I see some guys staying out. Wonder what they're thinking. Maybe they're a lap down, and then they don't have a choice.
Let's see, that's Joseph Amato. And Amato.
Yeah. That's the 7 of Brower, the 98 of Volpus. Those are lead lap cars.
Yeah, we'll have to see, Mean Gene. This is interesting.
Looks like Stephen Neal's zipping around the outside. Going to get a lead.
His lap back.
Good for him.
Yeah, he's going to be back on the lead lap there, and then that's going to let, our number 3 there, Nicholas San Francisco, he's only still a lap back, so another yellow comes out, which I can't see happening, but if it does, he'll get his lap back and get back on the lead lap.
No, caution, no. There's no way. Right now, though, we got 21 cars on the lead lap. Still lots of cars running. It looks like we're down onto the 27. The Rooster now showed us 20 laps down. That's unfortunate for that number 2 car, but he's still out on that track. He's pushing that car around. So we still got 27 cars that are running. Not sure about, yeah, the 53 is in the pit. I'm not sure if he parked it or if he's just getting some repairs.
Yeah, he's 23 laps down. Mean Gene,
yeah, 53 parked it. He called it. He said, I have had enough. I am Indigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. And he's off to take care of that business. 27 cars still running, though. Babcock, he is out there showing that fortitude as he continues to push it. I mean, let's face it, you still got another 62 laps, so anything can happen. You don't want to just give it up, especially when you're in this tight of a race to make that final 14. Lots of cars taking this opportunity to make a pit, but there's a few that did not. Specifically, I'm looking up there at the Joes, the Joe Amados and the Joe Vulpuses. That's your front row Joes, the 28 and the 98.
Yeah, old Joe Amato there though in the 28 had some blinking issues there, so hopefully that settles down as he gets that under control. It looks like he's doing a lot better now, as you got a lot of Gulf Coast Racing guys up front.
Before this round of pit stops after that second stage ended, but right now we're very curious as the top 4 cars chose to just stay out. And it's not like they didn't put a lot of laps on those cars. I guess they're figuring everybody's going to need at least one more pit stop. We're looking at 61 laps right now, probably 60. Let's see if the lights go off. Yeah, so you're looking at 60 laps. Nobody can make that on one tank of gas regardless. So by staying out here right now, you're just putting yourself up in the front, getting away from that hornet's nest in the middle of the pack where the accidents seem to happen. So this is a strategy call. Joe Vulpus, he did this last week or on Monday as well. Joe took an opportunity, got into the front, pushed his tires, pushed his fuel, and then he got eaten up in the last 9 laps of the race. Let's see right now, though. Joe just needs this thing to go for about 30, 40 laps. Come in, get fresh tires, get gas, just like everybody else. And Vulpus might be a name we could see here at the end. And right now, though, pace car leading him around. Joe Amato taking that outside row. He will be your leader, and he will control this restart. Other names up there, Brower and the 7 of Lynn. Here we go. They are green. The 28 of Amato on the outside. Solid start. Kyle Lynn keeps it tight, doesn't let Vulpus come up. So that bottom lane got stuck down there, KK.
Yeah, they sure did, and they're all stuck 2 by 2 right now, not single file at all, as there's a dogfight right behind Joseph Amato as they're just battling it out. But keep an eye on the 971. He's going to be on fresh tires, see if he can make his way to... Oh, my goodness.
Is that Alex McOrder?
Yeah, he's slowing it back there, Mean Gene. Let's take a look, see if we can find what happened. Oh, I don't want to say the number.
Don't do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Let's take a look. It starts with an 8.
He who shall not be named.
No, it wasn't his fault. It was just a little tap there at the end. Kind of looks like 15 mile got loose.
Yeah. So we're running. A little bit of touching going on right there. The 15 and the 26, we're talking. Dodson manages to get below. It looks like he, and Lewis just tags him a little bit. Just letting him know he was there, friendly touch.
Let's take a look from the top.
And we see cars coming into the pits, taking this opportunity to get a little bit more gas. Yeah, the 15 just looks like he got wiggly. You can see the Napa Bobby Dodds. Actually, that's Don Francesco right there in that 3. Everybody goes low to avoid the wreck. Lewis goes high, and just a little tappy poo. Stephen Neal makes it through.
Yeah,
there's the 3 of Don Francesco. He does not want any more wrecks, so he makes his way through there.
Great job there by Don Francesco making it by. He's going to get a couple cars. That's Stykilla in the pits right there, coming by our frame.
And McCorder down there. McCorder also getting some work. We can see Stykilla coming out of the pits right now. But the cars that did not come in now narrow down to 3. Now it's just Amato, Lynn, and Vulpes.
Yeah, I think their strategy must be, Mean Gene, to stay out on the older tires, get to their pit window, and have another set left in the bank in case something happens. But then you also have a set, you get your fresh set for the rest of the race. But I think it's more of saving a set of tires is what they're doing. It's all I can think of at the moment.
The other guy I want to wonder about, because I like wondering and pointing fingers, that's my job up here, is the 959 of Aaron Espy. That guy has been out there for 57 laps. And when he pitted last time, it was a 2.8 second pit stop. So is there still rubber on those wheels?
Yeah, there must be. Mean Gene, I'm showing Aaron Espy here. I think he did take tires that last stop there, Mean Gene, if I'm looking correctly. 14.5 seconds on his last pit run. He's on 8 laps right now.
Oh, okay. I haven't updated yet. I'm still I'm showing 58 on his run. So it did not update for me. I was thinking, How is this guy still going? He's a machine.
Yeah, that 58, that's amazing. He's just been coming in for splashes maybe. But yeah, no, 959 looks like everyone's on the same pit run except the guys you mentioned earlier there, Mean Gene. That's the 28 is Joseph Amato, Kyle Lynn, Joseph Vulpes, and Kevin Brower are all on older sets of tires here at the start of this this flag drop coming up.
Yeah, and Cornette also, he came in, but what is that, a 5-6 second stop? So that looks like he just got fuel 9 laps ago.
Yes, sir.
Lots of different strategies all coming together here. Oh, and the pace car blinked on me. That's a new thing. He's back now. Still, it's on that pace car. They come across the start-finish line. We are expecting to see the lights go off, and we do. Car is starting to tighten up behind there. Right now, we've got 21 cars on that lead lap. Nicholas Don Francesco, he's your first car a lap down. He's 2 laps down, and he's still working on that 16 minutes of damage. So trying to do the best they can with what they got. A couple of more cautions. He might be on the lead lap with a fresh car, KK.
Sir.
Guys fighting it hard, but right now we are looking up at the front row Joe. That's right, Joseph Amato in the 28. He's on the bottom as he has selected. Kyle Lynn, he's on the outside, been charging hard all day. Overcame an EOL penalty to make his way back up to the front. Joe Vulpes in that 98, the 44 of Cornette, he's been in the lead. Going to see him charge. David Cook right behind him in the 7 of Brower, going into the restart zone. Hard charging, Joseph Amato takes the lead. Inside lane gets pinched again. Vulpes tries to make a move. Kyle Lynn takes it high. And you can see as well Cornette, but Vulpes can't make that inside work as he's trapped back there in the soup. The 988 of Kyle Lynn makes a move on the inside. That blue just does not match up well with my eyeballs. But they're running strong right now. 3 deep, then they're going wide. It seems like Joe Vulpes is just destined to always have a partner when he's making these restarts.
Yeah, Mean Gene. As we're looking at Joe Volpus there, the 98. Looks like the 971 and Nate Maurer is looking underneath him. Isn't going to be able to get to the left rear quarter fender of that to make any great move there. As he, now it looks like Nate got a little loose there. Nothing major, no problem for Nate as he saves it. No, not an issue at all. As
No, Nate let off.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a green flag, a long green flag run here. There, Mean Gene. I just got a sensation of it as the cars are starting to get really strung out already.
28 of Romana, he wouldn't mind it. Oh, David Cook doesn't mind, does he? He doesn't mind at all. He took him 3 wide, and then Lynn goes up into the wall just to check and see if it was real, my friend. He tries to keep that momentum, and David Cook, he goes right through there, side-by-side racing. Kyle Lynn, David Cook, that's for second position. Good run on that inside by Cook, and looks like he's going to take Cornette with him. Cook goes up high, slide jobs into second place. Kyle Lynn falls in behind him. Chris Cornette and Lynn now side by side. That'll be for third place. Behind them, you can see Volpus, Kevin Brower. Nate Maurer has fallen back into 7th place. I wonder if Nate is doing a little bit of strategy at this point. Not used to seeing that 971 going the backwards.
No, not at all. He's always got something up his sleeve there. If Nate's doing it, you know that maybe you should be thinking in your mind, maybe I should be doing that also. Yeah, because Nate's always, especially at tracks like this, he's always very smart and dominant at them. So I think he's just maybe saving some tire. Maybe he's got the same feeling that I'm getting about a longer green flag run here. As
could be, but right behind him though, you can see him packing up a little bit. A lot of single file, but you can see Owens right there next to Robert Richards. So there, that pack still has a lot of potential for incidents to occur. But at this stage of the racing, you would assume these drivers have figured out, I got to give a little bit. And with the way the tire wear is going, you give a little now, and you're going to have that opportunity 44. To get through there. Is that Cornette?
Yeah, Cornette. They go 3 wide for the lead there, Mean Gene. As 71's going to come out on top of David Cook's going to get that first place as Joseph Amato is going to fall back to second. But here comes Chris Cornette on the inside. Going to try to make a move coming into turn 3 here at Iowa, because he's got a nose in front of Joe. He's going to try to clear him on the exit. Not quite able to.
Trying to fight back though.
Yeah, Joe.
Woo! Oh, the crossover attempt by Amato. Look at Joe Volpus back there, nerves of steel. He doesn't care. If those right there, then 98 is going to go straight into it. You can see on their replay. Look at this move.
Yeah, we should be picking up the move here. A little move that Chris Cornette gets into Joseph Amato as David Cook goes high on the outside for the lead.
Great action here at Iowa. These men all need this victory. They need this win.
John Walton and company, like you said, further back in the pack, it is a cluster as Sean Walton almost went 3 wide for a position. Oh, and it looks like Joseph Volpus is making a strong move to the inside. Oh, not outside, I'm sorry. Trying to catch his buddy there in the 28. But here comes Nate Maurer charging, getting a little more pace now as he's reeling in some of these guys that took off earlier in the restart.
And who else is coming into the picture right there? Look at that. There's that 11 of Owens. He's underneath the 98 right now. Those are Gulf Coast teammates, the 98 and the 11. Expect to see some clean racing between those two. But sometimes these tires have an idea of their own. 28 and the 98, the 2 Joes making use of the outside lane. Maurer and Owens on the inside. Those 4 cars really tight. And then you can see some single car racing behind them. If these guys stay side by side, that's all those single file cars are going to tighten up. And no sooner do I say it than everybody goes single file. Good racing here at Iowa, lap 123. Caution is out on the track.
24 up into the wall. I just caught it there, Mean Gene. Sure what happened there to Tykilla. You can see the steering wheel is all the way hard to the right. Let's see if he might have hit the wall earlier in that run, because it looked like he took some major damage to the front end of that vehicle.
So we're looking at the 24 Tykilla right here. You can see Stephen Neal on the outside. The 56 of Matt Novella is right behind him on the bottom. Good close up of that 24 car. Where'd the hood go? You need a hood. You need an engine.
He lost it a long time ago. I'm gonna go on board with him because I have a feeling he lost that motor and I could hear something. I could hear something expire. Let's not sure what happened to Tequila there. That's interesting.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere, to be honest with you.
All right, well, he's still on the track. Didn't blow a motor. Must have just heard something else. But yeah, that's going to bring out another caution here, folks. We got 125 laps down out of 165. We got 40 more to go here at Iowa for the Xfinity Wednesday night series. As Chris Cornett is your leader at the moment. This is showing me on my screen.
Yeah, that 24 is still rolling. I'm not sure what could have happened to him right there.
So
It
Mean
did take him
Gene,
right off that pace, though, didn't it?
everybody came in the tires except Chris Cornett. It's showing on my radar right here. So we got David Cook, Nathan Maurer, basically everybody on the lead lap except Chris Cornett took tires. Chris Cornett is out there on 25 lap tires. He's leading the race, staying out there, and we'll see what happens right now.
No, you figure he's thinking there's going to be another one, right? I mean, that's got to be his logic.
Yeah, Mean Gene. I'm not sure how many tires they started off with tonight or how many they've gone through, to be honest with you, with all the cautions and the topping off and whatnot. It's hard to keep track of everything.
Five.
But
They get 5 sets, you know, 1 on the car, 4 in the pit. But you're right, and there's times where they're going to come in and just take 2. Just take, the right side, keep that thing going. So we're just going to have to keep track. But for one thing we know for sure, though, is these other guys came in for some tires. Now, those guys with those 8-second pit stops, is that just, you think that's just 2 tires?
it's either 2 tires or just fuel.
That'd be a lot of fuel, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, it depends on how far they were down, but you're right. It does sound like a tire stop.
And then 40, we're looking at, what, 38 laps remaining. So theoretically, they would have enough fuel at this point. So Cornett, by staying out there, especially since he's already got 26 laps of fuel burned in that car, he's going to need the pit again. Not sure what strategy he's running in his head. Or heck, maybe he's just thinking, I want to stay in the front. You guys are crazy back there. I don't want anything to do with that. Currently, I'm showing 20 cars on the lead lap. Ty Killa, he's your first car 1 lap down, running back in 21st. We're going to keep an eye on that 24.
Showing the same thing. Stephen Neal's able to get back on the lead lap. He needed that. He needs to be able to get any position he can as he's in a tight race to try to make the cutoff here for the playoffs for the Moonlight Racing League series.
Yeah, he's tied with Bobby Dodson, currently running in 4th. So that might be a spot he's going to lose. Bolander, though, Andrew Bolander was in 11th, and he's having a good run as well, running up in 13th place. So some of these guys, Hunter Manley, another name down at that list, in 12th. So these guys that need good runs are really doing it. So Neal is going to need to try to improve his position as best he can, or else he's going to still be on the outside looking in after 10 races. Remember, we're in a 13-race regular season. This is race 10 here at Iowa. I see the lights are off of the pace car as they are leading him around. Chris Cornett, he has chosen the outside, but look at that, the rocket known as David Cook on the inside. That inside lane has not been getting a good jump the last few restarts. We'll have to keep a close eye on that and see what he can do with it. But I would not be surprised to see David Cook find himself up into the lead relatively quickly, especially on those newer tires. We're on that restart zone. We are green. Cornett with a strong run on the outside. Look at Cook, though. He cuts down low with those tires. He ain't scared. But the 44 of Cornett cuts him off. Ooh, the 44 got a little tight there. Cook had to slow down. That let Walton catch up. Now Cook's wiggling. He's in the wall. Cornett pulls away. The 23 of Walton down on the inside, making a big move. He'd like to eat up 2 burgers at one time, but now he's wiggling. These cars are crazy. The caution is out.
Yellow.
Was that Amato back there?
It was Joseph Amato. He unhooked the wagon with the freezer selling the hot steaks out the back to the neighborhood as he's going to start another caution off. Let's
the kids are running out of the houses picking up everything he just dropped out of the back of that wagon.
Yeah, 10-4. Let's see exactly what transpired here. A little help from 99, I believe.
Well, you know what I'd say, you get by with a little help from your friends. Let's see, Robert Richards, he is the driver of that 99. I don't know.
No, he's innocent. I think Joseph just got loose there.
Yeah, I hear Joe Amato works part-time as a landscaper, and I think he just missed that little piece right there. He didn't mow it over the weekend. He just wanted to get a little touch-up.
Yeah.
So good job. That's professionalism right there, Joe Amato.
That's finest.
He wants to make sure that he is taking care of business. He's 10 toes down, and he stands on business. That's the 28, Joseph Amato. So he's going to be fine. He's going to just fall back a little bit. And bad news, ladies and gentlemen. We just got word. It looks like the 24 of Ty Killa has disconnected. He is done. He is going to park it. That car with a little bit too much damage for him to continue. Also getting word from the pits that Nicholas Don Francesco as well has disconnected. So that is going to end the day for the number 3 Chevrolet of Don Francesco. He was fighting that thing, KK. I had hopes for him.
Yeah, we all did. I felt like he had a great run last week, and we're all rooting for him there a little bit to get this first win in the series. So looking forward to seeing him, though. I think he's going to be in the playoffs. He's had some great runs there, and looking for him to have a good bounce back next week.
Yep, strong driver, runs really good on super speedways, also on the mile and a half. So that's a name we're going to be seeing again. Right now, we are looking at lap 130, 35 laps to go to figure out who is going to be standing up on the podium, and more importantly, who is going to be standing in victory lane. Chris Cornett, currently your leader. Sean Walton and David Cook, top 3. All 3 of those cars were wiggling and squiggling that last 2 laps there, KK. That was a nervous restart.
Yeah, I mean, Gene, we thought it was going to be a long green flag run, but fortunately not. They decided to throw a couple more cautions out, like you said, due to some drivers just getting loose there, pushing the car a little too hard, which is understandable. It's a closing laps of this race, and everyone's trying to get what they can get. And it's unfortunate. We'd love to see this green flag run, but I'm just curious if this plays into the hand of Chris Cornett, since he did not pit. Unless he's just confident in himself being able to block these runs and get these guys aerotight behind him. But I'm real excited to see what Chris Cornett can do here with Sean Walton and David Cook breathing down his neck.
There's no way he could push that car. He's 32 laps into this thing, and sure, there's been some cautions, and we're looking at him right now turning the car off and on. Good for him. But still, you're talking about another 22 laps. And that's going to put him right at 54. We said you could make 48, maybe 50, but 54, this is going to be interesting. But it seems like he has made his bed. You could bounce a quarter off of the thing, and he's going to ride this out.
Yeah. I mean, Gene, couldn't say it better myself. But that's what's awesome about this racing. Everyone's got different strategies and different plans. As those pace car lights are off, most of the guys have. Yeah, what I'm showing is about 33 laps on this set of tires, but remember, we've had a lot of cautions, so not all of them have been under green flag conditions, so keep that in mind also.
Well, in a perfect world, he might be real close on that fuel. We'll just have to keep an eye on it, but I'm going to show him about 11 laps short on fuel, depending on what he can do with those cautions. Me personally, I'd rather be in the position of Sean Walton, or really, how about Bobby Dodson in that 32 on the outside there in that second lane. That's where you want to be. And so we're going to see what happens. If that 32 can stick with Cornett on this restart, get clear of that inside lane, he might be the chasing car. Here we go into the Geico restart zone. Chris Cornett on the outside. strong start, and just like we thought, Bobby Dodson is trying to stick with him like a magnet. That inside lane, not quite the start he would like. And you can see Bobby Dodson trying to take that position from Walton. Walton is sticking tight, and that's going to let Cornette even get further away as Dodson and Walton continue to fight the 2-3 versus the 3-2. Which way are those numbers supposed to be lined up? We're going to find out. David Cook, he's coming really strong on the outside following Bobby Dodson. So that top 4 cars trying to pull away, but as long as you're side by side the way Walton and Dodson are, you're not going to get very far away. Chris Cornette, old tires, not a lot of gas, but he's still your leader right now, lap 136. Good action behind there. Look at the 971, and now he gets loose. He goes up into the wall, makes contact. Oh, that was highly unfortunate as we see the 971. He just got loose right there. I don't see a caution yet. There
Caution,
it is.
they did call it finally.
Woo! I was over here sweating bullets.
Wow, that's amazing. That's very unlike Nate there to have an issue like that. He's always so dialed in, so you can just see how hard these drivers are pushing the car. With someone of his talent losing control of that car here at Iowa, it is a tricky track. So
he was in the 13 laps ago.
As that car gets loose and he slams into David Brenner, let's take a look at poor Brenner. Wrong place, wrong time.
That looks like Kyle Lynn behind him. So we can see the 971 of Maurer. You got Owens right above him. Robert Richards in the 99 is behind Maurer. Kyle Lynn behind Brenner. And he just corrects it. And look at that thing snap back up. Look at David Owens screaming, no, 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 no. Owens gets clear, and it goes right in. Oh, unfortunate. Robert Richards going to make it through underneath. But Brenner and Lynn, part of that. Let's see Joe Volpus. He's trying to cut down to the inside and make his way through that foolishness. Good driving right there by that 98 to make his way through there. And they split him just like the Red Sea. And Steve Lewis makes his way around. Good job, Steve.
Yeah, anytime Steve Lewis can miss a parked car on the track, it's something to celebrate.
Yeah, he's still dialing in that Fanatec that he's got.
If he dials in that Fanatec steering wheel anymore, Mean Gene, he's going to be dialing up DSL internet right there.
Well, better than having the old dial-up. I'm still working on that. Don't call me during the race. I'll disconnect. So that plays right into Cornette's hands. But as I look now, finally the 44 decided, I need tires. I need fuel. This game has gone on long enough. The 44 of Chris Cornette does take this opportunity to bring it in for a little bit of fuel, possibly tires, because he is 14.2 second pit. And that is going to put him on fresh tires for these last few laps. This might be exactly what he wanted, right? You know, you're looking at 24 laps and you're on brand new tires. They said these things don't get tight around until lap 20. So if Cornette can just make his way around the track for 2 clean laps, get those tires warm and dialed in, all of a sudden he's going to be the best car on the track, if he wasn't already.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, Mean Gene, I mean, does the rest of the field have tires left? I don't know. You think more guys would have came in to throw set on, right?
They might have committed on that last one. That's a really good question. We can have to ask some of the drivers at the end exactly what they were making out with this tire wear, because everybody said, oh, I can make 50 laps. Oh, the tires will last the whole run. And then some were like, yeah, 20 laps, these things get tight. And there's no way that you could have configured when the cautions were going to come. You just had to have a number in your head and hold on till then. And maybe Chris Cornette was the best one at holding on until the number that he had picked, that he had predetermined, popped up. Because I don't know, 24 laps, 23 laps once we go green, he might have that 44 dialed in. Right now he's running 15th place. That is the heart of the Hurricane. So he's got to avoid the wrecks down there. But if he can make his way through this crowd, we might see him push his way right back up into a victory. You know, my stats still are not updated. It's showing me Aaron Espy 89 laps on those tires. So my add-on is having some serious difficulties when it's coming to him. But I am showing Espy in the 13th place. Good run right there by the rookie. Good to see him out there in the middle of all of
if
it.
you hit control, if you click in your standings box and hit Control Shift R, it might like refresh it. Give that a shot.
I did what you said. Oh, and now it shows him 90. Good for him. This is great. Who knows? Maybe he's got a blocker so we can't track him. He's worried about the Russians. In fact, I see him wearing an aluminum tinfoil hat right now, so don't mess with Darren Hesby, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, 4. And then we got, hey, Mean Gene. So Sean Walton going to be the leader here, leading them here. Bobby Dotson, 32 on the inside row underneath him. As we get ready to get these guys rolling green flag racing here as they come out of turn 4 at Iowa.
Hey, look at that second row, though. Cook and Owens. Here we go. Pace car is off. Walton leads him into the Geico restart zone. He drops the hammer. Outside lane moving fast. Right now, Owens trying to keep up. He'd love to shut down Bobby Dotson on that inside. Bobby Dotson, David Cook side by side coming through. David Cook is in 4th in that 71. Robert Richards, 99. Joe Volpes side by side with that 99. Walton loves the side-by-side racing, and that's going to let him continue to push his lead. David Cook still high on the track. Cook loves that high lane, KK.
Yeah, he sure does. He's loved it last week at Kansas, and now he's loving it here at Iowa as they're going to make contact between Bobby Dotson, the 71, and the 32 of that's Bobby Dotson and David Cook. As David Cook's got that higher momentum on the outside line, is going to be able to clear the 32 Bobby Dotson. And now Cook's going to be focusing on the 11 of David Owens and Sean Walton as he's starting to close in on these top 2 for a win here.
Hey, how about David Owens? He had a little bit of damage after that very first caution. He has worked that car. He has got it dialed in now. David Owens in the 11. He would love to score his second win of the season. He's second in points, trying to chase down Nate Maurer, and he'd love to make up a lot of positions right now. Nate Maurer, 19th place, 5 laps down. Perfect opportunity. Owens last week finished 26, lost the lead. This week could be his week to make up that gap. But right now, Sean Walton says, just try it, pal. I am in the lead. I've got the tires, and I'm going to take this thing home. Lap 146 right now out of 165. Strong racing, but David Cook on that outside. He'd love to get his hat in there. And how about Joe Volpes with that good run? We were waiting to see if he could put it together at the end, and there he is in the top 5. Last car in top 5, Robert Richards, also needing a strong victory. KK, this is just some exciting racing. We've seen these names battling back and forth, and now David Owens is throwing his hat name into that hat as he's underneath Walton. These cars, it's lap 23, KK. It might be time for some tight driving.
Yeah, that's right there, Mean Gene. As he said, man, Joseph Volpes sneaking his way up here to the top 4 right now towards the end of this race. Robert Richards behind him in the 99 is Sean Walton doing a great job controlling the outside line. Speaking of a line, so 32 of Bobby Dotson had some trouble there, and now he's shifted all the way back here. He's losing positions very fast as he's getting swallowed up by the rest of the field. As you can see there within the pictures, of 44 Cornet with those fresh tires, trying to get every spot he can with time ticking down. So we'll keep an eye on the 44 as we shoot back up to the front of this chase for the lead between the 23 of Sean Walton and David Owens.
There is some insanity also. If you look at the 26 of Manley, behind him is a hornet's nest of cars. Bobby Dodson side by side with McWhorter, under them Connolly, Brower, Joe Amato. This is insane. You want these guys to keep these things on the track, but right now they are just thinking about how close they can get to that leader. The leader, Sean Walton, trying to hold off the charge of Owens. Owens underneath, one to make a move, almost makes contact, rides him up high in the wall. And who's up there high also? David Cook, pushing this thing as hard as he can. Finally seeing Cook go down low. Joe Volpes, Robert Richards, he's top 5, trying to pull away from that second group of cars.
Yeah, Sean Walton finally concedes that first place as David Owens does a great job of being patient and working his way around. So now the man to chase down is David Owens in the 11.
13 laps to go right here, ladies and gentlemen. David Owens, he's out there, 28 laps on those tires. Plenty of fuel. If this thing stays green, all the drivers can make it to the end. It's not going to be a fuel run. It's not going to be a tire game. The only person we're wondering about with tires was back with Cornette, who took that late pit. But Cornette is stuck in 12th. He's back in the soup. So he's not yet made his way through that nest to get back into it. And David Cook pushing away. The caution is out. The caution is out.
Oh, my. Wow, Mean Gene.
No, and no sooner do I mention those two names. It's the guys with the fresher tires, the 28 and the 44. Look like they got together and slowed the field enough for MRL officials.
Gosh. I mean, come on. Okay, Mean Gene, I just, no comment.
I'll tell you who did not want to see that caution is David Owens. He finally made his way through to the front.
Wow. This is going to be a topic of controversy because I would be irate if I was David Owens.
Owens had a chance to check out right there. He had a good lead going. He was pulling away. Cook and Walton were back there dancing with each other. Richards and Vulpes were dancing with each other. Perfect opportunity for David Owens to just check out of this thing, dominate the last 10 laps. But if you like tight racing, ladies and gentlemen, that's what you're about to get. We're going to be looking at about a 7 or 8 lap shootout for these cars that are coming down.
Mean Gene, are you eating an Omaha steak right now from Joseph Amato?
I got to tell you, what I'm really eating is some antacids because my belly is out of control right now. I'm back here. I keep flipping back and forth to look at the middle of the pack, and I see 2 and 3 wide cars, and they're cars that I have seen involved in accidents before. If I'm MRL officials and I'm trying to keep track of who causes 2, who causes 3 accidents, it's just too much. It's just too much for me, and I got to chow down on these antacids. This segment brought to you by the Equate antacid tablets.
Well done. Well, wow, David Owens. I mean,
I'm going to want to talk to him regardless of where he finished.
Yeah,
What his opinion of that one was.
Definitely. And that's going to be an 8th place now on fresher tires. I don't think that damage was that bad. So Joseph Amato, Chris looks like they're going to be starting next to each other there, somewhat different rows, but very close together.
No, they just touched. You know, it was nothing. It was a little rub. I didn't see any of their wheel wells get involved with it, so I'm not expecting any rubbing damage from that.
Were there socks on, Mean Gene?
There were socks and shoes on, so it was not even an incident. In fact, I think Chris Cornett's out there with boots. He's probably wearing a set of Wolverine steel toes, so he's not going to get involved. He knows what time it is, and it is not the time for footsie.
Base car is off. Mean Gene as David Owens hits a Geico restarts line late start here as they get spread out coming down into turn 1. Sean Walton blocks off that run from David Cook, and here comes Robert Richards on the outside with some momentum, going to challenge that spot for P2 by Sean Walton.
Owens did him dirty. He did a slow roll restart, threw off everybody. Look at the field packed up behind Owens, and that had to be part of his master plan. He's out there just making it happen like the Sicilian from
the 23.
The Princess Bride. Where's the 23 going? Stay on the track, my friend. We need you up at the front.
He is, but now here comes 71, diving it down low, dive bombing the 99. Can he make a move? No, the 99's got a lot of momentum. It has the grip of the tires. He's able to hold off the 71.
Hey, behind the 71, you see the 44 to Cornette. He's on those newer tires. If anybody's going to hold that outside line, it's going to be Cook and Cornette. Sean Walton falls into 5th behind them, and the number 8 of Bolander made his way back up. Really good to see him. Hard fighting by Andrew Bolander after he was part of a T-bone stake situation. But now he's back into that top 5, getting by Walton. David Cook trying to hold off the charge of Robert Richards. Richards. Owens trying to hold off the Charger Richards. David Cook in third, riding it high, but the 44 of Cornette, he can go low with those fresher tires, and he's going to do a little bit of side-by-side racing with Cook. He's got to get by him quick. There is a caution on the track. Oh
my God. Oh no, Mean Gene.
Joe Amato looks like he was part of that again. T-Bone Racing Team has got to
they're
be
living up to their name. Are they disappointed or are they excited?
It's hard to tell. It matters how the steak is cooked at my excitement level. So the 28, I'm not sure if there's contact or not. The 959, and he's going to come down, introduce himself to Bobby Dodson as if they didn't know. The 959 refuses to give the T-bone to him. Tries to get out of the way. Kevin Brower making the best way he can around the track. You can see the 27 down below. That's Dave Kirkpatrick trying to avoid the nonsense. So I think we need an in-car cam maybe. We could look behind and see exactly what contact occurred with Amato.
What car number should we pick there?
I'm not sure who was behind Amato at that point right there.
Oh, the 7. I think it was the 7.
Was it? I don't think it was a 900 number.
Let's take a look.
Looked like it was one of those 900 numbers. Yeah, it might have been that 959. This is going to be good. I think this will lead us right up into that. So, yeah, it looks like he just kind of came right up in front of that 959. Ooh. And that's where the contact occurred. And then Brower said you need to T-bone him.
Quarter hard in the. Yeah, there's more incident in front of that wreck. Yeah, 959. I think he wrecked me last Thursday in a truck race in Thursday Night Thriller. He threw a tantrum, and he wrecked me also. So yeah, shout out to him.
No, I don't think there was much he could do right there. It looked like the 28 just came up in front of him.
Oh yeah, save it for
that could have been
save it for the
code.
Judge. Save it for the
that
judge.
Could have been some net. That could have been some net code. But we are 2 laps away. I think we're going to be in a play. I think we're going to be in a shootout situation. Yeah.
Yeah. We're right checker territory, baby.
David Owens. He's going to control this thing, and we've seen that having control of that restart has been paramount in these situations. If Owens can get that clean restart, he should be fine, especially since he doesn't see the 71 of David Cook on the outside lane. That 71 has managed to hold that lane so well. The 44 of Cornette running in 4th right now on the outside. Again, he's on fresher tires, so he's been able to cut left and right without too much difficulty. He shouldn't be experiencing that tightness that we've heard the drivers speak about. So Owens, what he needs to do is get a good start and pray that Cook doesn't follow him, and that maybe Robert Richards can block Cornette and Cook, and he could finish this thing with a strong win. But regardless of how you look at it, David Cook's got a wide rear bumper, and he is not going to give this thing up easy.
Are you taking the high line or the inside line on the restart here if you're David Owens?
I would be tempted to take that inside lane and then cut up into that preferred lane. And that way you can shut down the whole row. But if he takes the high lane, if he gets a good restart, he could pinch that entire inside row the way we've seen in the past. So it's really a matter of I only need to lead for 2 laps. I don't want to caution. I might take that outside lane if I'm him. If it was a longer run, I would take the outside lane and pinch the inside. It's a short run. I take the inside, get the good run, go up into the preferred lane, win the race.
This race is going so long, Mean Gene, that I'm having to pinch the inside lane, if you know what I mean.
You're going to make it. This portion of the race brought to you by Niagara Falls. This is going to be an exciting finish. That is for darn sure. Guys, we're looking at Cook is so fast. Cornette is on fresher tires. Bolander has made his way back up. Walton has been wiggling. I've got to keep an eye on him. Volpus, he's been a steady hand, but we're not used to seeing him pass a ton of people. Kyle Lynn, he's been involved in a few incidents, so hopefully Lynn can avoid the Noid and keep this thing straight. Hunter Manley 9, Matt Novella 10. Going to be very exciting to see if we can get around one green lap. If we can make it to that white flag, then this result will be final, regardless of what occurs. Here we go. Pace car is getting ready to go off as we're coming around turn 4. Pace car is off the track. David Owens is on the inside, gets a strong start, and he's going to take it back up into that preferred lane. He's the leader. Now he needs Robert Richards to do his part and block the hell out of Chris Cornett. Cornett would love to go high. Richards blocks him. That lets Cook get by. And here we go. David Cook. Can he shut him down? Or will Cook catch him? Owens and Cook. Who's the real David today, KK?
Yeah, David Cook's probably got better pace overall on the average, but isn't it?
Cornett is in a wreck with Lynn.
They threw the caution. Oakley Hood is going flying. Oh my gosh, Mean Gene. Great call on that restart.
The fresh tires do not help.
Let's take another look.
Yeah, that looks like Kyle Lynn involved in that. Is that Walton? Who is that? Oh, they're 3 wide. They're out of control. That's Bolander on the inside, Walton in the middle. Looks like Walton's starting to glide up just a little bit. Looking at the 44 saying, please don't hit me, please don't hit me, please. Well, you just hit me. There you can see there are a couple of hookers on MLK right there. Both of them go sideways, and Kyle Lynn just unfortunately caught up. Those 3 cars touching, and oh, really nice piece of driving there at the end. Oh, and there goes the hood. That's some net code. That's unfortunate. It looked like that driver avoided that wreck.
That Oakley hood, I mean, Oakley is probably clapping in the booth saying, well, that's the best advertisement we've had all season, as that Oakley hood goes flying straight up towards the blimp, the Farmers Only blimp. Remember, folks, you don't have to be lonely at farmersonly.com. And just thanks to all the shot and the footage up from the blimp.
Well, and that's not the only footage you can get if you go ahead and hit up that website. Chris Cornett, really unfortunate right there.
Oh, that thing is cockeyed. No fast repairs here either. I keep thinking there's fast repairs. There is not fast repairs in this league, correct there, Mean Gene?
That is correct. There are no fast repairs. There's only the ball peen hammer. And you can see that 44 is on the inside. He's trying to get that thing into the pits as soon as he can. Really unfortunate for him. That thing, it's limping around.
What a great run there. But now that great run, that cost him. He's going to lose a ton of spots and go at least back to 19th position. Yeah.
Great run, no fun.
Exactly.
So the 2 Davids going to get another green white checker. Now they're going to be side by. If I'm Owens now, I start on the outside. I cannot take the chance with David Cook. David Cook rides that outside so well. So Owens has to go to the outside and just hold that outside lane, knowing that Cook is that fast. Remember, Cook won last week at Kansas. Cook turned around, got him another win in the Monday Night Mayhem series. Cook's hungry. You know, 3's a charm. And he would love to go ahead and rack up a 3rd victory in a row. I'm not sure if that's precedented in MRL racing up in the big leagues. But this guy right now, if I was a betting man, which, you know, I am, you know, you can talk about that Sunday at Talladega. I'd say you got to be on the outside. Owens has got to restart on the outside, and he's just got to start blocking. I don't say race from your rearview mirror, but man, I would have one hand on the wheel and one hand on that rearview mirror, because David Cook wants a piece of this action. He's hungry, and David Owens is not protecting that whole pizza.
That's right, Mean Gene.
I mean, if it was Bojangles, you know, you wouldn't have a chance. You ain't getting the Bojangles away from Owens. But right now, David Cook, if anybody can snatch that victory away, it's got to be him. Let's not forget, though, Robert Richards, his name, he's been up there the last 30, 40 laps. So it's not an accident that he's up there. And if those two guys decide to take off their shoes and go sock to sock, Richards could easily slide right in and find his way into it. So
that's it.
Wow,
That's it.
Owens is on the inside. I don't know about this, KK.
Hey, he obviously knows. If you're on I'm not sure what the right answer is here. I mean, Owens is comfortable on the inside. We'll see what happens. But Gene, I wanted to ask you: does it matter the length of sock? I mean, if I got a little ankle sock compared to a tube sock, like, what are we talking about here? Is there any room for error?
Well, I think you're really looking at how much fabric, the thread count in the toe area.
I understand.
And some people, you know what I'm saying, sometimes that toe just comes right through the sock, and then you're in for a surprise. You cannot have unprotected toe-to-toe.
That's it.
No, that's the problem start. Then you got to come home to your parents, and it just gets really complicated. But here we go.
Off,
Cook couldn't get fooled last week, but this week Owens with the restart strong. Look at him pull away. He brings Robert Richards with him. Cook is on that outside lane. Let's see what momentum he gets. Richards is going to run him clean. Let Cook get that run. The 8 of Bolander is down there as well. Cook touches the wall. Owens pulling away right now. They're coming into turn 3. If they can just make it to that start finish, this thing will be official. 99 of Richards comes up hard in front of Cook, hits the wall. He came so hard. Cook makes it through clean. Oh my gosh, here we go. This thing is going to be official. And it's David Cook getting chased down. He's chasing down Owens. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, David Owens has got a good jump out of the backstretch. I think David Owens has got it as they enter turn 3. As a pack comes out from behind him, David Owens is going to see the checkered flag fly as he's going to pick up his first win, or I can't remember what win, as he wins at Iowa. There, Gene.
Big win. David Owens holds off the charge of Cook. Richards got loose, went all the way up into the wall to block David Cook. Cook made his way with that crossover. He's going to finish second. Bolander with a strong third. Richards holds on for fourth. Hunter Manley fifth. And hey, look at this. Fred Lester rolling up to take 6. Sean Walton 7. Aaron Espy 8, Stephen Neal 9, Larry Johnson 10. That is your top 10. But KK, there he is, the 11 of Owens. He's doing his victory spins right now as he picks up his second win here in the Wednesday night Xfinity League. What a run by David Owens. I wanted to count the guy out, and he's like, no, I am going to be counted in all the way to the top.
You called it, Gene. You said he's a lap down at one point. You're like, don't count him out. He always comes back, and he did. He showed us exactly why. He's a proud sponsor of Slut Life there on the number 11. So cheers to David Owens as he picks up that. Did you say his second win of the season there, Gene?
That's his second win, yeah.
Yeah, congratulations there. That's a big step there, beating out some top competitors as the top of this field has really gotten tough to get a win here. Is a great run there. A way to hold them off.
Speaking of tough, right now we're going to go ahead and see if we can talk to some of these top 3 drivers of that mayhem there at the end. We're looking at the number 8 of Andrew Bolander, third place finisher. Andrew, do we got you on the radio?
Yep, you got me.
Boy, I bet you were a little bit puckered tight when you saw how hard Richards came up in front of Cook on that block. Take me through that last 2 laps.
I was just waiting to see if there'll be more carnage. I saw the 71 like send in in turn 1. I thought he was gonna get him and spin him out, but he didn't, and luckily we came home third.
It was a heck of a finish right there. Richards really trying his best to just hold off the charge of some of the faster drivers. David Cook, he was so fast on that outside lane most of the day. When those two got together, I think your opportunity really came. Cook got through clean, could hold it off. But Andrew, strong run, my friend. We were a little worried back then when you got together with that 27 Miller genuine draft car of Kirkpatrick. We thought that might kind of take you out of contention, but you overcame that adversity and you piloted that bow tie number 8 into third. Anybody want to give a shout out to, Andrew?
David, for setting up this grid league and you guys are doing the broadcast. It's pretty fun having you guys doing broadcasting.
Oh, it is our pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Andrew Bolander. Andrew, you were 11th in points. I think we're going to see you sneaking up the charts just a little bit closer and secure your position in that top 14. Good run, buddy. Looking forward to seeing you the rest of the season.
Yep. Looking forward to being here. Thank you.
All right, and I'm gonna hunt down David Cook. I'm gonna slowly pull him down the board. He is in for an exciting run as I drag him through the different channels. All right, KK, I think we got him.
You did get David Cook there, Mean Gene. Go for it.
David Cook, 71 bow tie driver. Do I got you, brother?
Hello.
Well, they ruined your party, my friend. You took Kansas last week. You won the Monday night race. You were looking for the trifecta. And yet David Owens, he just came and stole your party. Take me through those last 2 laps. That was exciting, especially when Richards came up on the track there.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, David did a great job on that last restart. He got me really good there. Really good on me. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun. Sorry to Sean Walton, not 93. I think he's real mad about that. But you got a whole nother lane there, my man, and you ran right into my right rear and slowed my car down.
Yeah, womp womp. We might have to talk to him during the the downtime and see, maybe get his interpretation of what happened. Walton still piloted that 23 Toyota to a 7th place finish.
Did a good job.
He brought that back and he got back into that fight. But David, you were making that outside lane work. Were you having a flashback? Did you think you were still at Kansas?
I think I must have. I just kept going up there.
And
Yeah,
you were one of the few that made it work, man. Was you just dialed in? I mean, people said these cars got tight at 20 laps on those tires, but you just kept powering. Was the car dialed in, or is that just your lane?
I just kept trying to feather in the brake as I went into the corner and set the front of the car in and then just keep driving it off, feathering the throttle coming out of the corner and just keeping the car set. And it was working. So, man, that was a great race. That was fun.
Super exciting from our standpoint. David, you were 3rd in points. Unfortunately for you, the guy in 2nd, he won the race. Nate Maurer, the guy that you're trying to chase down, he piloted his car back into an 11th. So I think we'll see a little bit. You might chop off about 10 points. But this regular season championship is still on the books. For you as well, especially if you keep putting in these finishes. Anybody you want to holler out at, David?
I got everybody watching me tonight, so thank you to my family. Appreciate it. My sponsor, SimRep, Marketplace.com, and to the broadcast and everybody watching. Appreciate it.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. David Cook, the 71 Chevrolet. He has won 2 of his last 3 races here in the top leagues, and this is a guy that we expect is going to keep on charging hard, and we're going to find out who the real David is as this season goes on. David Cook, thank you, brother.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night. Good job, David.
And that is going to bring us to the real David tonight, the number 11 winner, David Owens, picking up his 2nd win of this season. David Owens, do I got you, brother?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing tonight?
Oh, man. If I was any better, I'd be you, my friend. David, you got in an early wreck. We were a little worried about your car, and yet you just kept on doing the pits. You kept on working the pits. How much damage did you have at the beginning of this race? How much were you repairing?
I had about 4 minutes of optional, no required, but the hood had popped up, so it was flapping in the wind on the way back to pit road.
It was a heck of a show. I was talking with KK, and we were saying you can't count certain drivers out. If you're within 1 lap, even if you're 1 lap down, you're going to get that lucky dog opportunity to get right back into this race. David, I got to ask you, though, that last restart, David Cook was on fire on that outside lane, and you chose that inside lane. Were you taking a chance there, or did you just have faith in your restart ability?
Both. I was taking a chance and had some faith, thinking I was going to get that good jump. I know he'd been up running that high side. I've been venturing up there as well, so I knew there was speed up there, and if I had to, I could go and move up to try and cover. but I feel comfortable racing around Mr. Cook there enough, because I feel like, there's not going to be malicious intent if it came down to it to move somebody out of the way, or I didn't have to worry about being wrecked. So if there's contact, I know it's not malicious to wreck me. So I felt comfortable doing what I needed to do. And if it had to go up there and cover, I know I didn't feel like there was a threat of being dumped for the win.
Well, it was some amazing driving. You did get that restart. That was something that we had talked about, is restarting on the outside really pinches that entire inside and ups the odds of a caution occurring. By starting on the bottom, I think you freed up the field and we avoided that big wreck, which let us get to that through that first lap to that white flag. And then once you hit that white flag, we saw Cook make that amazing move to get around Richards. And then it was the two of you. He wiggled a little bit. You kept that thing on the rail and piloted that number 11 Ford to victory. Really strong run, David. You're chasing down Nate Maurer. He took that lead from you last week. You still got your eyes set on that regular season championship?
Oh, absolutely. Been getting caught up in some wrecks here that hadn't been my fault. So then the start of this race, it was like flashbacks to the season of getting caught up in stupid stuff. So to be able to bounce back like we did, come back for the win, it was great. So I did enjoy it. I went down that lap early just to get the damage fixed, and I think if I chose to try not to do that, I think it would have been a different story tonight.
I agree 100%. Really good work by your team down there getting that car back into shape with that optional repair. And we could see the way these tires were going and the way that outside lane was working. You couldn't have any damage on your car if you really wanted to fight for that win at the end. Ladies and gentlemen, David Owens, the pilot of the 11 Ford, with his second win on the year. And we're going to see him and Nate Maurer continue to battle. And David Cook, he is on a rail also. These three men, they're going to be fighting for this championship toward the end. This is going to be something to keep an eye on. This is race 10. We've got 3 more races left in this regular season. And David, I cannot wait to see you guys battle and see who's going to take that regular season crown. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to the ones that show up each and every week for this league. We've had a couple of races that have not been the greatest, but tonight we showed improvement. We got some green flag runs in. Still had a few cautions, that probably could have been avoided, but hey, like I said, it's growing pains. We want to try and include everybody. Help everybody get skill, bring that skill gap in. Shout out to Kevin Kyle for all he does production wise, all of his thoughts and ideas. He does the trophies for our league. So if anybody needs trophies or any kind of questions when it comes to production of this broadcast, give it up to Kevin Kyle and KK Woodscapes out of California there. You're my go-to for everything. Yeah. And shout out to you, Mr. Mean Gene. And you do great commentary, and I'll see you this weekend in Talladega.
Oh, yes, but you're going to see me first tomorrow night on the trucks. I'm going to make an appearance, and we're going to see exactly how fast I can make a Chevrolet truck go around the track.
Are you guys going to be wearing socks at Talladega is my question.
Oh, I'm going to be barefoot. Are you kidding me? It's Hillbilly Weekend holiday right there. We're going to have a big time. Ladies and gentlemen, David Owens, number 11. He is your winner. Second win on the year. Thank you so much, David, and we can't wait to see how this thing goes. And yes, sir, I will see you Sunday at Talladega. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up. Race number 10 of 13 here at Iowa Speedway as we see David Owens take the second win of the year. He cuts into Nate Maurer's lead. We will have those points updated to let you know exactly how close they are. David Cook also continuing to close that gap. These three guys really putting on a show for us as we go into the last 3 races. David made that comment about the accidents happening. Do you think racing at night on the cooler track might have helped these dudes with the temperature of the track?
I think, man, Iowa's just tough because if you overdrive it, you're kind of shit out of luck. And we saw that with the spins. The accident starts coming around and you're really shit out of luck. So you just got to be careful if it's hot or cold. So I think the temperatures helped, because if it was hotter, you would have had problems coming out of exit, under throttle. So I think we would have had more cautions if it was hotter, but they did a great job. And like you said, there's a lot of guys on track, so it's just a learning process. And if everyone keeps showing up each week, you start to have you kind of show respect for each other, and you want to put on a good a good show, not a show, but you want to have good green flag runs. If accident happens, it happens, but they're showing improvement, and it's exciting to watch. And it was a great finish at the end there. So can't say enough about the drivers and everyone that's involved in this league.
Yeah, it's so fun to watch them here tonight. Final count, we did have 30 drivers total. Once again, I'm counting race control when I'm doing my math. My apologies, people at home. 30 cars, strong run. We did finish with 18 on the lead lap. Amazing racing. If you like what you see, please reach down, hit that like and subscribe. Tell your friends.
And,
you guys at home, let us keep on making this happen. And so we just want to keep this racing as exciting as we can for you. And the more support we get from you, the longer that we can continue to do this. Once again, I am Mean Gene Money, voice of MRL KK. This brought to you by MRL Broadcasting and Top Split Productions. Such a pleasure. Kevin, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful evening. And remember, as always, bottoms up and hammer